team! Be a team! Set! Hey!
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is me, your boy Larry B, bringing it to you on a beautiful Wednesday evening. It is Wednesday, October 16th, 2019. And here we are, ready and set to bring you another 3 action-packed hours of football coming your way. That's right, y'all. We are ready to rock and roll. We have a crazy week to recap, and definitely one of my favorites of the season. Let's get it going. Patriots, how about them Pats, man? Looking pretty solid. However, 4th start for Mr. Daniel Jones. Not looking too bad, youngster. Not looking too bad at all. Also, the Panthers and Buccaneers. I'll tell you what. We have ourselves one hell of a Buccaneers team up and coming, but they're not there just yet. Panthers looking strong, taking out the Seahawks over the Browns. Is it the same old Browns, or is this just that fighting spirit of the Seahawks? Suddenly, the Chiefs don't look so scary anymore in Arrowhead. What's going on there? Texans take that victory on the road. Redskins and Dolphins, oh my gosh, somebody got their first win of the season. They got Redskins, they got themselves a victory. The Vikings take out the Eagles, and the Eagles do not look impressive whatsoever. The Vikings starting to turn a little bit of heads, at least my head a little bit. Saints and Jags, I'll tell you what, right now, the Jaguars looked actually pretty impressive. Saints, Teddy is holding it down. Ravens over the Bengals, surprise, surprise. But what's surprising was that score. In the Rams, suddenly the Rams don't look so scary anymore either. At home, the Coliseum. What's going on with these two teams? We'll get into those today. Also, Cardinals take out the Falcons. Falcons making a close one at the end, but they still have some problems. I don't know what's going to fix it. We'll get into that in a little bit. Broncos, the Titans. Titans, y'all have a problem. That's all there is to it. Broncos, hey, maybe you aren't so bad after all. Also, the Jets upset them boys. Oh, yes. The Jets pulling off quite the upset. Cowboys are stunned. Also, we have a home game for the Steelers in LA. And the Pack, oh my gosh. What a victory for the Packers. Was it due to the refs? We will talk about that. You are tuned in live to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we are, yet again, another beautiful Wednesday evening, and here we are, just getting ready to talk some football. Man, it has been great. It's been a great week. Lots of great broadcasts on IE Sports Radio, and I'm just so happy that we've had a chance to get a really good full week, and man, there's been so many great shows. So as I always start things off, gotta say, man, all glory to the man above. That's right. All glory to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For without him, nothing is possible. So got to start off by saying, as always, all glory to God. That's right. That's right. Big ups to the man above, y'all. And of course, big gigantic shout out to all of you out there, all you listeners out there who make this happen. Y'all bring the thunder every week. Hey, and I love y'all, man. Y'all are the real deal. Y'all are the real deal, and that's just how it goes, man. So we really appreciate y'all, and thank you so much for tuning in every week and showing us some love. Gotta blow the whistle, y'all, real quick, man. Gotta blow the whistle, ring some bells, and I don't know, get excited, y'all. Okay, at least somebody laughed, whatever. Anyway, y'all, with that said, hopefully you're having a great week, y'all. We are now in the middle of the week, as it always goes. Of course, football time is here. And the beginning of the week, well, is, behind us, but we still got a little bit more to go. So hopefully this show makes it a little bit easier throughout the middle of the week. Really excited, y'all. I'm Cannot believe it. I'm so excited. I just started to write Goal Line Stand today. So for those of you who don't know, I'll be starting my YouTube series coming up this week, Friday. I'll be dropping the show. It'll be a lot of fun there. So I'm going to record it and drop it, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a mixture of 3 and Out College Edition and 3 and Out. This 3 and Out right here. I'll be talking, as you know, Mr. Terry Rodriguez and myself talk everything college football on 3 and Out College Edition on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk everything, y'all. You want junior college? We talk CCAA and NJCAA. Do you want NAIA? We talk NAIA. You want NCAA Division III? We talk NCAA Division III. You get the picture. NCAA Division II, FCS, and FBS. We don't leave crap out. We think it's all important. I played 3 years of college ball. Well, actually 4 years of college ball, and I'll tell you right now, guys, it's all important. So all levels, guys, play Division III, but it doesn't mean it's just another 4 years to ball out, man. And I'll tell you what, get another opportunity to make a professional team. I'm still balling, playing semi-pro, doing my thing, enjoying myself, loving playing the game I love. And one day when God says it's over with, then that's it, and I'll hang it up. I'm coaching right now as well, but I'm definitely not done playing, and I'm gonna keep pushing on, doing my thing, make the XFL if I can, and NFL tryout, an NFL practice team, maybe an NFL active roster. Why? Because God instilled that incredible drive, incredible God-given drive in me, and that's what it's all about, y'all. So I'm a hard worker, and that is why I feel that all divisions, not just the FBS, are important. So we cover everything there. So anyway, I'm covering all of that good stuff. We'll be covering the NFL, and also I'll be talking high school football as well, the top 25 around the country and some of the local schools around here. If you want to get involved, send me some of the stuff, some updates and some stuff from your local high schools. Maybe some of you have some kids who play, or you're just a fan of the local high schools. I'm envious of Texas. Y'all are crazy over there, man. Tons of high school every week, and it's no joke, man. I've heard plenty of stories where everything's down. Just like Friday Night Lights, y'all. That's no joke right there. They actually do that. Close the city down, and it's time for varsity football on Friday night. So any of y'all want to, send me some, thoughts or comments on a local high school or somebody, to watch out for, or players that are, getting scouted or whatnot, and that are, soft committing or committing or anything like that, definitely, give them some props and throw some love their way, So, hey, we're going to have some fun, though, and check it out. So, it's going to be every Friday. I'm going to try and drop it, but it's going to be a really fun show, maybe even sooner in the week. I really want to do sooner in the week, but, yeah, I'm going to drop it for Friday this week, and it's going to be a fun show. So, it's going to be me on camera for 30 minutes, 30-minute video, but I'll be talking all those levels and just breaking everything down, getting a little more into the nitty-gritty, because this show, of course, is great. It goes. I'll take a brief break right now, come back, and we're going to recap the NFL. We're going to jump on into our picks. Mike will be joining me in a little bit, as a matter of fact, Mike Pat, making our picks, and then it's off to the primetime face-offs. After that, we get our final weigh-in of those 3 games, and that's it. And it literally takes 3 hours, and it's a great show. We have a lot of fun, lots of listeners, tons of listeners we get here, lots of you competing every week, and it's awesome. But at the same time, just like with 3 and Out College Edition, we have plenty of commentary in there and everything, except for, sometimes we go a little, we get a lot in there, but sometimes we got to, for time constraints and everything. So this is kind of like my overflow, and it's going to be really neat. Also, every week, me I'm a defensive guy, if you can't tell by the name of my shows, 3 and Out. My YouTube series is going to be Goal Line Stand, and on the Goal Line Stand, I'm going to have a segment every week of the 3 best defenses, and I'm going to call that the Pick 6, y'all. It's going to be the Pick 6 portion of the show, because those are going to be the top 6 defensive performances of the week from all levels. So we're talking about high school, college, any level of college, and the NFL. And hey, we'll even get into some Canadian football. I'm down for that too, man. The Grey Cup's coming up. Actually, as a matter of fact, I got to get on that pretty soon. But the playoffs are started or somewhere near there with the CFL. We're getting close there. So anyway, with that said, y'all, we're taking ourselves a brief break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking lots of the NFL. We're going to be recapping week number 6 and what a week it was, and we're going to get right into week number 7, y'all. So, as I mentioned, lots to get into for today. We got 3 primetime face-offs coming your way. Of course, big shout out to everyone you saw earlier in the post. I'll be announcing them in a little bit, but they are ready to rock and roll, and that's going to be coming up in the second hour of the show. So, we are ready to go. We got ourselves a Chief, a Bronco, an Eagle, a Cowboy, and believe it or not, we got 2 Patriots and 2 Jets facing off tonight. Oh, yeah, we're going to have double the fun in that primetime face-off, y'all. So, anyway, with that said, we're just about a 5-minute break. When we get back, we're going to jump right into the recap of Week 6 in the NFL. You're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring.
The international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Daryl Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all. That is sports. IE Sports Radio.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Faces Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college and the CCCAA and the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I A in the FBS? Well then, look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake, Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week
during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome back. This is me, your boy Larry B. Bringing it to you right here, y'all, on a beautiful Wednesday evening. And it's time to recap what was a crazy Week 6 in the NFL. So, hopefully you are ready to rock and roll, because here we go. Alright, so I'll tell you something, man. We're going to get a lot more in depth with this when it comes to goal line stands. So you are not through with me yet, y'all, on the week. Even for College Edition, I'm still going to get more on that. So anyway, so I just want to say something real quick. Daniel Jones is a baller, man. I really thought he was going to the Patriots. You heard in the show, on 3 and Out, on our Combine Edition, the draft. We even talked about the Senior Bowl. I remember in one of those guys, in one of those shows, I just said it. After I heard that Daniel Jones was getting his second Masters, once again, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's a myth, but I just remember I keep thinking of draft, that Belichick drafts guys with high GPAs. And that right there just says so much. And just knowing that they said Daniel Jones is getting his second Masters, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be the guy who, he's a Belichickian pick. He is going to the Patriots, and he's going to sit behind Tom Brady, and he's going to learn, and he's just going to be the successor of Tom Brady whenever Tom Brady decides to retire, which looks like anytime soon. The guy's a beast. Legend, man. In my opinion, the greatest to ever play the game. That quarterback. But I'll tell you right now, one of the greatest to ever play the game in general. So, but he looks okay. It's his fourth start in the NFL. He went 15 for 31, 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I don't care if he threw 3 picks. This is against the number defense in the NFL. This defense is honestly, it's insane. I was talking to Mr. Alexander Gaines, of course. Some of you know him from the show here, or from Bases Loaded. Him, diehard Boston guy, and he even said it, like, seriously, he thinks that this defense might even be better than the Teddy Bruschi defense in 2004, 2005, and honestly, that's kind of tough. There's some Hall of Famers on that one, but we don't know. That could be some Hall of Famers from this defense, too, so very good defense. And they're playing pretty stout. But Tom Brady was Tom Brady. He did throw a pick, but hey, I mean, that says a lot about the Giants' defense to be able to at least pick him off. And the Giants, they may have had a crappy start, but you know what, man? They're on their way. They're looking a lot better than they were. Tom Brady, 31 for 41, 334 yards, 1 interception. It is what it is. Edelman was his usual self, 9 receptions for 113 yards. Sony Michel, 22 carries for 86 yards. Not his best, but certainly a good victory for these guys. And it was neck and neck almost the entire. Well, it wasn't neck and neck, but it was a really close game. I mean, the sucker was actually tied at the half. That's pretty crazy. Okay, 14. Oh, I'm sorry, not tied at the half. It was 21-14. At the half, and a scoreless third quarter, and then the Patriots take off in the fourth with 2 touchdowns. But I'll tell you what, man, still, regardless, even if the game, would have ended at the half, I mean, Patriots would have still won by, 7 points, but regardless, it was a very good game. They held them, once again, scoreless for 1. Not bad, guys. Not too bad, Giants. I know they're in a tough spot. NFC East right now is almost as wide open as the AFC South. Yeah, I said it. What's up? But, pretty nasty right now. I'm looking forward to a really, really, really good performance from the Giants, to come. So we shall see. Patriots will jump to 6-0 on the season. Giants will drop to 2-4. We'll now roll on here to Panthers and Bucks, and this was an interesting game because the Panthers are certainly just a strong team. You look at how good this team really is. McCaffrey is just that dude. I know he was only held to 31 yards, but the Bucks defense is coming alive, man. This is no defense to take lightly. I really want to see this defense continue to do more of what they did. They hung with the Saints. They've been able to do a lot this year, and I really, I'm excited in the direction the Buccaneers are going. Finally, they're going to stop being the little brother of the NFC South, or let's hope they would. Or at least Buccaneers, let's hope they would. Falcons, Panthers, and Saints, I know that's not what they want to hear, or not probably think, but hey, I think they're on their way, guys. However, man, Allen, good. Seriously, this kid is coming, man. I really like it. Kyle Allen, the young man out of Houston, looking pretty good. He went 32, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns. I love his poise, man. He's a total baller. Moore even looked pretty good. I mean, he got 7 receptions for 73 yards. Not a bad day at the office. But I'll tell you right now, man, for throwing 5 picks and getting 400 yards, Jameis Winston's trying to ball, man. That goes to show you he's trying so hard. because he's pressing. But with pressing comes the greater the risk, the greater the reward, guys. In 400 yards, he went 30 for 54 and, well, 5 interceptions and 1 touchdown, but 400 yards. So he might be trying a little too hard. When is enough? When is too hard? Well, I don't know. I mean, 5 interceptions says a lot. Regardless, though, he's a competitor and he wants to freaking play. And this guy, Godwin, man, when you have a receiver like this, you're going to try and give him the ball as much as possible. 10 interceptions for 151 yards. I mean, he definitely passed the century mark and played good football. So anyway, at the very end, the Buccaneers would bring it a little bit closer at the end of the fourth quarter. Regardless, it would be 37-26, and it would be actually this very last one was awesome. Dare, I don't want to butcher his name. Dare Ogunbowale, I believe. Bawale. I don't want to butcher his name. Ogunbowale, I think is how you say his last name, but he got in for a 3-yard carry. Jameis Winston would then, unfortunately would not get the 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion would fail, but 37-26 with 4:47 to go in the game. They brought it a little bit closer, made it an 11-point game. That's how the score would stay, but I give a lot of props to the Buccaneers. The Panthers jumped to 4-2 in the season as the Buccaneers dropped to 2-4. This division is something. Seahawks and Browns. I mean, seriously, guys. The Browns look like the same old Browns, and they're going to continue to look like the same old Browns. However, you can't down their performance, though you can down their performance. It's weird. I mean, the first quarter, Cleveland comes out and balls, man. 14-6. They looked really good really early. Then the Seahawks pretty much, not dominated, but did enough to gain the lead by the half, 20-18 at the half. Pretty good football game. Then the Seahawks defense just wakes up, man, completely shutting out the Browns in the third quarter. They score a touchdown of their own, and then the fourth, the Browns get one more touchdown. But then guess what? The Seahawks match it with a touchdown of their own, and that would be enough. It would be Chris Carson on a 1-yard carry into the end zone with 3:30 to go. Jason Myers nails the extra point. It's a 4-point game, 32-28, and the defense of the Seahawks would hold. Look at that, man. Russell Wilson, 23 for 33, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's just Russell Wilson kind of stuff, man. He's a baller. He wants to play. Eclipsing the century mark as well. Carson with 24 carries for 124 yards and 1 touchdown. And, of course, that last touchdown of the day was his. Not a bad day, man. Baker Mayfield, he's, forcing a lot in there as well. I mean, I know I was giving Jameis Winston some props earlier about pressing a little bit, but once again, when is enough? He threw 3 picks. 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Ouch. But I know it wasn't 5 picks like Jameis Winston, but 22 for 37 and 249 yards. Regardless, Baker Mayfield's coming, man. I know he's that leader that everyone thought he was, without a doubt. It's just the fact that he's having, it's kind of tough. I mean, he's a youngster with a bunch of young players. They're a young team. It's coming, but when is it coming? That's the thing. Nick Chubb, not a bad day either. He eclipsed the century mark. 20 carries for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Odell Beckham Jr. doing what he does. 6 receptions for 101 yards. Regardless, really, it was pretty good. I mean, much better than the leading receiver for the Seahawks. Nothing against Tyler Lockett, man. I still remember seeing Tyler Lockett return those crazy, super crazy freaking kickoff returns. Well, I saw him 1, actually. But it was awesome to see him do that at Kansas State. At least once, I was watching the game and I was like, oh man, this guy's going somewhere. And the next year he goes to the Seahawks, so it was pretty awesome. Not trying to say I called it, but I'm going to say I know that he was going to do something when he got to the league. He's too good to not. So really good stuff, and I'm really, looking forward to seeing what the Seahawks team continue to do. But also the Browns, I know it may not look the best right now, but they're also heading in the right direction. Regardless, Seahawks jump to 5-1 on the season as the Browns will drop to 2-4. Next up here, Texans and Chiefs. All right, so our Chiefs fan may get a little pissed off about this, but I'll tell you right now, man, the Chiefs are absolutely, I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. Here you are, 1 week, one season, you look absolutely amazing, one of the scariest teams in the league. This quarterback is a youngster. He's doing his thing. Patrick Mahomes is everything you could have possibly want in a quarterback and more. He's doing things that are just defying the rules of football. And then you start getting beat by teams you shouldn't be getting beat by. Now, is it all on him? No. But to think this Chiefs defense was just a little bit better last year, you'd think. I mean, the Colts. Why? How? How do you lose to the freaking Colts? I know Jacoby Brissett is a great athlete, okay? But the Colts, to me, just aren't up to par with the Chiefs, and they dropped one last week. The Texans, I think, are a much better team than the Colts. But then the Texans also come in, and look what they were able to do. This is concerning, Chiefs fans. I'm saying concerning. Watson, man, 30 for 42, 280 yards. He threw 2 picks, but he still threw 1 touchdown and was able. He threw 2 picks. This offense should capitalize on almost everything. However, that just goes to show you how good the defense of the Houston Texans is. I'm not trying to slight the Texans, but good stuff. Carlos Hyde, man, 26 for 116 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. Even Fells, 6 receptions and 69 yards. They came out ready to play, guys. Tyreek Hill held under 100. McCoy held under 100. He was held under 50, okay? And then Mahomes doing his usual, not a bad day, 9 for 35. A little better than half. And then you have 3 touchdowns. Okay, great stuff. And 273 yards. That's wonderful. The man can't do it by himself. The Texans had a team victory, and the Chiefs had a team loss, really. So, it's what it is. Chalk it up as a loss. The Chiefs are definitely still a better team than my terrible Raiders. I'll tell you that right now. I'll admit that fully. But I'll tell you right now, though, the Chiefs they don't look like that big, bad, scary team anymore at Arrowhead. They just don't. So, can things change from one week next? Of course they can. But will they? We shall see. So, the Chiefs will drop to 4-2 on the season, and the paper team that I used to call the Texans, or shall I say the Texans I used to call paper team, look a little bit better. Oh no, we're a paper team before, and once again, as you know, my phrase, paper team, it's not my phrase, it's been thrown around before, but, a team looks better, that looks good on paper and doesn't play like that on the field. Well, the Texans certainly were that last year, but hey, they're looking a little bit better this year. So, next up, Redskins and Dolphins. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we knew somebody was going to get a victory this week. Or at least we'd hope it wouldn't be a tie. Okay. And I'm kind of concerned with the fact that the Dolphins are they look like the Raiders right now, guys. They're just giving up. Okay, I can say that. I'm a Raider fan. They're just giving up. No one wants to play. Gesicki is a talent beyond talents. This dude's a freaking, didn't they say he was a volleyball player in last year's draft or in the combine? This dude is nuts. He gets up, man. But he only got 3 receptions, 51 yards. Now, is that, all his fault? No, because Fitzpatrick, they started him this week. Remember Fitzmagic? You were in a Saint. You were balling out last year, dude. You were Fitzmagic, man. You were making things happen for a team in Florida, for the Buccaneers. And unfortunately, this year, I know it's a new scheme. Not trying to throw it on everybody, man. The Dolphins are just having a tough year, but 12 for 18, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. At least he eclipsed the century mark. He didn't have that many attempts. Drake needs to... I know his offensive line isn't helping him very much, but 10 carries for 40 yards. Dude, this is 10 yards. This is... I'm sorry. That's tough. That's really tough. That is extremely tough. He couldn't produce very much. That sucks. Because this Dolphins team, not too long ago, they were just in the playoffs, 3 years ago? Ouch, or something like that. It's tough go for these guys. Mr. Josh Ritter, of course, here on member of iSports Radio, definitely, said they're going to take their lumps this year, and they did. But it's kind of rough to see the Dolphins, man. They're kind of drowning. However, next up, Case Keenum is just, he's in and out, he's doing whatever. But Keenum, he went. Let's see, what was numbers? 13 for 25, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know what? It was enough to get it done. I'll take that. Not a bad day for him. Adrian Peterson, man. The Aegis Wonder, 23 carries, 118 yards on the day. Not a bad job. And a dude who I just knew was going to do great things in the NFL. That's why I drafted him on my fantasy team. Not that my fantasy team is doing that great this year. But Terry McLaurin, man, this guy is the real deal. Freaking the real deal, man. This guy is awesome. Out of Ohio State, he's a rookie. A lot like Andy Isabella, who I thought would do great things. And he's looking, he's on the Cardinals, I get it. But, Gallup, I knew he was going to do great things. Look at that guy balling out in Dallas right now. Coming out of Colorado State, you knew he was going to do great things in the Senior Bowl. You knew that. Guys like him. Guys like Campbell for the Colts, rookie. So you kind of, you can see those things. Deebo Samuel. You knew he was my favorite receiver in the Senior Bowl. And look at him for the Niners. I'm just saying, these are youngsters who can come out and do the dang thing, and he had a pretty good day, man. 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns, man, and 100 yards. He hit the century mark, looked pretty good. Redskins, I'm not trying to say they're on their way. They have a lot of rough road ahead of them, but hey, they at least got a victory. So they're 1-5 in the season now, as the Dolphins will now drop to 0-5. Next up, I was bagging on the Vikings. I know I was a little salty after beating my Raiders. My bad, Justin Ekstrom and Caitlin Seam and Vince Wright and Edwin. But yeah, man, you know what? I can actually start saying positive things. I was so high on the Vikings a couple of years ago because I was like, oh my gosh, that defense is stout. They can get there, and then they just fell apart, and then they just kind of really fell apart. And I was like, all right, you know what? They're just unimpressive. Well, Kirk Cousins did pretty good this week. 4 touchdowns, man. He did throw a pick, but 4 touchdowns. 22 for 29 with 333 yards. Okay, dude. I see you, Kirk Cousins. Okay. Also, Madison, not a bad day. I mean, he could have done a little bit better, but 14 carries for 63 yards is not a bad day. Diggs, pretty good day here. 7 receptions, 167 yards, 3 carries. I'll take that. Eagles, yeah. Ouch. Sunday's game is going to be great because there are 2 teams who fell from freaking grace this week. Well, I don't say it like that, but 2 teams who fell from grace, man, this past week. I know it's just 1 week, but my gosh, 1 week can do so much. We haven't even got to the Cowboys yet, but the Eagles, excuse me, can someone explain to me what's going on? 1 week you're really good, 1 week you're not. I mean, you're beating really good teams and you're falling apart to teams you shouldn't be losing to. It is a roller coaster season. The Eagles have now fallen to 3-3 in the season as the Vikings jumped to 4-2 in the season. But the Eagles, I mean, Wentz is doing okay. 26 for 40, not great, but, not bad. That's not bad. But 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he did throw a pick, whatever. He's still out there balling, slinging the rock around. But regardless, 13 carries and 49 yards. Howard, come on, dude. I don't know if it's your O-line. I don't know what's up, but you got to get going. 3 receptions for 86 yards and 1 touchdown. Sanders, you got to get going, brother. I mean, I know maybe he spread the ball out. Maybe he went to spread the ball out a little more than than usual. I don't know. But I'm just saying right now, the Eagles didn't look any bit impressive. It was bad from the get-go. They were trailing 10-0 at the end of the first half. At the end of the second quarter, it was 24-10. I mean, it already looked like there was nothing there. And they started to come back a little bit and make it 20-24 or 24-20. Here in the third quarter, and then after that, Diggs scores and was 31-20 at the end of the third, and then the fourth quarter, absolutely nothing. The offense is just nowhere to be found. Not taking anything away from the Vikings, but they came to play. Or the Vikings defense, I'm sorry, not taking anything away from the Vikings defense, but they came to play. They got it done. And, well, Dalvin Cook gets 1 more touchdown in the fourth quarter, and that's how this game ended. 38-20, final score. Eagles, y'all need some help. Vikings, keep doing what you're doing, man. The NFC North is also a very wide open division. Saints and Jaguars. I mean, really, this was one of my favorite games of the week because, man, Gardner Minshew is the man, dude. I am a Pac-12 guy, Cali all day long. But I'll tell you something, or West Coast all day long. But Gardner Minshew was somebody who, once again, you knew you had to see this guy in college, man. He was the real deal. I didn't get to see a lot of him, but I knew. I mean, he was breaking records. He's playing good football. 14 for 29, 163 yards, 1 interception. You know what? I like what he's doing, man. He did throw a pick. I know. He didn't have a touchdown. I know. But this guy's a leader. He is a leader, and he's leading this team as much as he possibly can. They're playing good football. They stayed in this game with the Saints. Truth be told, I thought the Saints were going to blow this team out. And that's nothing, against the Jaguars defense, because they definitely stood tall this week. But, I mean, Bridgewater has definitely, he's proven to be a starter before after his terrible injury, and by the grace of God, he's okay. So, that's awesome. God is great. But knowing that Bridgewater and those Saints were coming on over or going on over to Jacksonville, I thought it was going to be a lopsided affair. But Bridgewater doing, pretty good. 24 for 36, 240 yards, 1 touchdown. Not a bad day at the office for this guy. Both the running backs were held in check this week. Actually, everybody was held in check. Very good defensive game. I love this. Murray was held to 8 carries and 44 yards, but they still got enough to get the victory. Fournette, 20 carries for 72 yards. Okay, I mean, yay and nay, but not a bad job. Could have maybe gotten a little bit more, but once again, I don't know if the O-line was helping. I don't know. I mean, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. But the Saints defense is also extremely stout, and I love it because, look at Also, Davenport, didn't we talk about him last year on the show? Being from the Senior Bowl. Look what he's been able to do in his first year. Look what he's his second year out of Sam Houston State, FCS school. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I told you earlier. Why do you think the lower divisions are important? Because ballers come out of there too. Ali Marpet, Cecil Shorts, Division 3. What? That's what I'm saying, okay? EJ Speed, coming on out of Tarleton State, Division 2. I'm just saying, guys. So, we have here Thomas, 8 receptions, 89 yards, did enough, almost got the century mark. And then Westbrook, 3 receptions and 53 yards, for the Jaguars. I mean, overall, it was a very good game. In the first quarter, 3-0 Saints. At the second quarter, at the half, 3-3. Into the third quarter, 6-6. And all it was just a touchdown in the end, guys. That's all. Teddy Bridgewater to Jared Cook, 4-yard pass. Will Lutz with the extra point with 11:49 to go. And that's what it would be, 13-6 Saints. And the Jaguars couldn't answer. The Saints couldn't add any more either. But it was a good football game. And great stuff there by that team. Next up here, let me go ahead and roll back to the real fast, guys. We gotta kind of hyperspeed right now and get through this. So we got the Saints at 2-4 on the season now. 5-1 on the season. The Saints will jump to 5-1 on the season as the Jaguars will drop to 2-4. Next up, we have the Ravens getting this thing done. Now, this is a little bit concerning because I get it, okay? The Bengals are not just going to lay down and let everybody beat them, but I don't think they're that good of a team. The Baltimore Ravens were tested last week, definitely, or a couple weeks ago, by the Steelers, and I didn't think that was going to be a close game at all. But right now, the Baltimore Ravens have every bit of a chance to run away from this division. They really can. The Browns are... They're losing close games. They, maybe not should be winning. Maybe some of them they should, but they're losing really close games. The Steelers, they beat down the Chargers, but the Chargers are a different story. We'll get there in a little bit. And then you have the Bengals who they're just the Bengals. That's all there is to it. They're just in a tough time right now. Total rebuilding period. So, Jackson, 21 for 33, 236 yards. Not a bad day. He was also the rushing leader. I love this. 19 carries for 152 yards with 1 touchdown. Not a bad day. I think it's, he did pretty darn good. I really do. Andrews, not a bad day. I mean, 6 receptions, 99 yards, and that's all there is to it. Dalton, 21 for 39. And we have here 235 yards, 1 interception. It is what it is, but Erickson held on the century mark. Tate held on the century mark, and it was a rough go for these guys. Overall, the Dirty Birds got it done, and I'm really excited to see how far this team could really go. They're winning close games. I think they're playing to teams' levels, in my opinion, but let them continue to get better. Lamar Jackson is every bit of the Heisman winner you thought he was. So, here we go. We have here the Ravens 4-2 on the season, and the Bengals will now drop to 0-5. Next up here, we have the San Francisco 49ers winning such a good football game. Now, why was this such an amazing game? Well, because they certainly did exactly what they knew they were going to go do, and that's march on into the Coliseum and win a game that they knew they could win. Teams aren't scary unless you make them scary, guys. You don't have to be scary. That's all there is to it. I mean, yeah, they got a lot of talent, whatever, but it's up to you and how you prepare and what you do. So, I really, really, really like the fact that this football team is believing in themselves, and you know what? They're doing great things. Okay, Garoppolo, I love it. I love what this guy's doing, man. 24 for 33, 243 yards, 1 interception. Who cares? That 1 interception, big deal. Not a bad day. Look what they did to Goff, man. 13 for 24, 78 yards. Nothing. Brown, 11 carries, 40 yards. Nothing. Higbee, 3 receptions, 25 yards. Nothing. On the flip side, Coleman, 18 carries for 45 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, not that great of a day, but he definitely did. And Kittle, I think, had the best day out of everybody. 8 receptions, 103 yards. This guy is getting down, man. And all day long, they just beat him down. The only time the Rams would even score would be and I thought they were going to roll on him from this very first score. Early in the first quarter, all right? Well, in the first quarter, that's it. That's the only time they would even see the end zone. And though the Niners didn't have this gigantic blowout victory, 20-7 is good enough. 5-0 for the first time. I think this is since 1990. Regardless, I don't even care. That was awesome, guys. The San Francisco 49ers are playing football right now, and I'm loving it. The Rams. Yesterday, there was a trade made. Okay. They let go of Marcus Peters. He's going on over to Jacksonville. Great. Or not to Jacksonville. He is actually on his way to, and this was kind of crazy. He's going to Baltimore, which is really going to help them out. They got linebacker Kenny Young. And then I was like, okay, this is why? Like, nothing against Kenny Young, but okay. And I heard they got a draft pick. It was undisclosed. I don't know if they announced it yet. And then I was like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, like, I don't know. And then, but you've been hearing Jalen Ramsey. You've been hearing, this Jalen Ramsey stuff. He's not playing. He's this, he's that. He's not playing. I don't know if he was injured. I don't know, whatever. And then out of nowhere, guess what? He's going to the Rams. I mean, that's it. Going over to the Rams. So, hey, that can make a big difference right there for the Rams. So, hey, all is not lost. I'm just trying to say that's what's going on at the moment. So, anyway. Good stuff there. Good game there in the NFC West. Then we get on over to the Cardinals and Falcons, another NFC West team in here. And, I mean, the Cardinals, Kyler Murray, man, this guy is as advertised. I know it's his first year. I know they're not having the best season so far. But you know what? 27 for 37, 340 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I don't even know his rushing, but this guy definitely wasn't that great, because apparently the leading rusher for the Cardinals was 12 carries for 34 yards and 1 touchdown. But I'll tell you what, not a bad day at the office. Fitzgerald, 6 receptions for 69 yards. That was enough to get it done, guys. I mean, Larry the Legend, in my opinion, Larry Fitzgerald, the legend, the future Hall of Famer. Kyler Murray, though, is really playing great football, and I'm really happy to see what he's able to do. Let's just hope it keeps on going. The Falcons, though, they are lost. I mean, they started coming back at the end. They looked good, but, I mean, as Mike Pat said last week, we lost a search party that was out to find... We lost a search party that was out to find the offense and defense of the Falcons, and now we have to send out a search party to find the search party that went out to find the offense and the defense of the Falcons. Like, seriously, I mean... Where were they? Hooper had a decent day. 8 receptions for 117 yards and 1 touchdown. Freeman, though, he was held in check, man, under the century mark. Set 19 carries for 88 yards. Ryan, 4 touchdowns. That's great. But guess what? Unfortunately, and I know, okay, guys, I know. Bryant missed that kick at the end. I know. Okay, and it should have been maybe, going to overtime. I know. But what took the Falcons so freaking long to get started? Why have they been falling apart? I mean, the only game they played this year that was actually decent, okay, besides their victory, was, against the Eagles? And that was in week 2. And I was like, okay, well, it's early, it's just, it is what it is. But then you start to see the Falcons are just falling apart. I don't know. But Ryan, 30 for 36. Okay, that's a pretty darn good day. 356 yards, that's a pretty good day. 4 touchdowns, that's a really pretty good day for Ryan. What's going on with everybody else? What's up, defense? I mean, seriously, the Falcons are not where they should be right now. And I know it's irritating everybody, okay? It's irritating the Falcons fans. So I'm not dissing them, but I'm just saying something needs to happen now. They are 1-5. The Buccaneers are on their way. Okay, they are leading right now. Well, not leading, but they're ahead of them. The Panthers have found a way to quote unquote keep pounding and keep it going. They're balling. And you have the Saints, who are just doing big things with Teddy Bridgewater. When Breeze gets back, I mean, it's just going to continue. I'm just saying, Falcons, if there was ever time to get going, it's kind of now. Just saying. And then the Broncos. And then there were the Broncos. Okay, Broncos, what's going down, man? This team is, really... really impressive at the moment. I know they've only won 2 games, but you know what? Weeks 2 and weeks 4 was a tough one. They lost 2 games, nail biters. You know what? I'm really excited to see what they can do moving forward. But they lost 2 games on a last-minute field goal, and they weren't going to let that happen again. They beat the Chargers. Now they beat the Titans and shut them out. Okay, Marcus Mariota, they benched him, dude. That defense is actually pretty, crazy. Terran Rodriguez had to convince me that the defense was pretty good. And they are. I mean, Von Miller, they're stout. But it's just the fact that, I don't know, Mariota, man, this is a tough go, man. Tough year for him right now. And Tannehill, 13 for 16, 144 yards, and he threw 1 interception. But apparently a lot better than what was going on with Marcus Mariota at that point in time. We have Flacco, 18 for 28. Not a bad day. 177 yards, 1 interception. Phillip Lindsay, the guy that just gives me so much hope. He's a little tiny guy like myself. Well, I think he's shorter. I'm only 5'9". He's I think he's smaller, but 15 carries for 70 yards and 1 touchdown. Pretty, not the best day, but it was enough to get it done. But look at that. They held almost everybody but Tannehill Well, everybody but Daniel under the century. Mark Henry only had 15 for 28. Humphreys had 6 receptions for 47. And, of course, once again, to be fair, the Titans were, they also held the Broncos in check pretty much. Once again, Philip Lindsay, 15 for 70 yards. And he had 1 touchdown. And then Sutton, 4 receptions for 76 yards. 4 receptions for 76 yards. But regardless, it was a pretty good day at the office for the Broncos. They came, they conquered. They were at home. They did their thing in front of their home fans. The Titans, with so much hope and so much promise, last year, they're just slipping. Like, by every week, it's just slipping out of their grasp. So, I don't know. Anyway, after that, Jets and Cowboys. Oh, it's going to be fun. Okay, so first things first, the Cowboys, you couldn't explain to me right now what's going on with this team. Prescott, decent. 28 for 40, 278 yards. Okay, not a bad day. Elliott, 28 carries for 105 yards and a touchdown. Okay. Austin, 5 receptions for 64 yards. Once again, don't know how much Dak spread out the ball. Regardless, it's not a bad day at the office. What really went down was his defense just kind of gave in at the worst times. It's never good for a defense to give in, but this first quarter, you can dissect this game. First quarter, great job by both defenses, but the early touchdown by Le'Veon Bell says a lot. Early hits, yes, but this Dallas defense has been semi-stout, at least this year. I mean, maybe not. That's what I'm taking a guess. But they've also had their bumps, okay? More than anything, if you look at the most successful quarter for the Jets, it was the second quarter with 2 touchdowns, okay? The entire second half, all they got was a field goal. So you're looking at a tale of 2 halves. I mean, really, it's kind of funny if you think about it. Look at this. 3 touchdowns for the Jets in the first half and 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys in the second half. The only difference was a couple field goals, guys. That's it. So you're looking at probably, the touchdowns, of course. I wasn't, but as you can see, there was a difference there. But really, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what really went down. The Cowboys just had a really bad game, I get it. But it's kind of weird to see the Jets just come out and kind of dominate how they did. That's not very like the Cowboys. I mean, you have a Jets team who was a very rowdy, tough team. I mean, Bell only got 50 yards, but hey, he got in for a TD. I mean, he had 14 carries, so he could have made more of that. So it goes to show you the defense of the Dallas Cowboys was pretty stout. Regardless, Anderson, man, 5 receptions, 125 yards and one touchdown. This dude is a real deal. He's really going off. And talk about the difference, man. USC fight on. That's right, baby. Sam Darnold got back under center this week. 23 for 32, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Good game, man. I think he had a great game, y'all. Sam Darnold did his thing. Very proud of his performance. Once again, diehard USC guy here. It's just kind of interesting to see what really, how this Cowboys defense reacts to pretty good defensive performances. So far this year, they have been a little Now, I'm not going to sit on this one loss for the Cowboys. Okay, granted, it was a huge win for the Jets because that's their first win of the season. But for the Cowboys, it can only be their will. Their team is actually pretty good, guys. They've got a pretty good defense. The offense has lots of great players. And the offensive line, don't you dare try and point fingers at that offensive line, okay? Miller, Smith, yeah, you get the picture. I mean, Miller, I'm sorry. I said Miller. I'm so sorry, guys. Martin and Smith, this is a very good offensive line. They're stout, they're strong. I just don't, for 1 second, see that this offense is they're just not producing the way they should be. And then they semi-produce, and then they have their hot spots. But also, it's a team, guys, and the defense didn't help them very much early on. So, I'm not going to rag on all is not lost, guys. It's one freaking week, no matter how critical I may be. But overall, Cowboys will drop to 3-3 in the season. Once again, the Jets will jump to 1-4. Is what it is, guys. Jets win a big one on the road. Well, sorry, at home. And then we have the home game. The Steelers, man. Talk about a crazy football game here. The Steelers all but destroyed these Chargers. It was 24-0 at the end of the third quarter on Sunday Night Football. And, well, that's really cute. We have 2 touchdowns and a field goal. 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter is what it is. It wasn't enough to win the game, and that's all there is to it, guys. Would it come down to an onside kick, I think? I forgot. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but end of the day, man, you see all the terrible towels there. Pittsburgh came ready to play football, and that's all there is to it, guys. I'm really excited for the Steelers moving forward. They're down to their third quarterback, and this dude still had a pretty good day, man. Hodges, 15 for 20, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. He threw a pick, but who cares? Threw 1 interception. Then you have Snell. This dude, I think, came out of Slippery Rock. No, he wasn't the guy of Slippery Rock. Snell came from Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a quick look here. Yes, out of Kentucky. That was that very good Kentucky team last year. Now Kentucky is struggling right now. They really wish they had their guys back from last year. But Snell, good job, man. 17, I mean, it wasn't the best, but 17 carries for 75 yards. He did enough. Connor, this dude, man, 70, isn't he a running back? I think 7 receptions for 78 yards and 1 touchdown. You know what? Great job. Hunter Henry also did a really good job for the Chargers. 8 receptions and 8 receptions and 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. But regardless, man, I mean, Gordon, not a bad day. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Terrible day. 8 carries, 18 yards. Yeah, somebody's defense came to play. Steelers. And then Rivers, 26 for 44, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also threw 2 picks. I'm not going to rag on Rivers too much because this dude's a real deal, man. As I always say, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks of this era, even being a diehard Raiders fan, because this guy never quits. He hasn't had a steady offensive line almost his whole career, and this guy still finds ways to win it. I mean, right now I don't even know too much about their offensive line, but they're 2-4 on the season, guys. I don't know. They're definitely not the playoff team. I had this team going 12-4, 3-13, I think. Yeah, so much for that. Steelers will jump to 2-4 on the season. Sorry, Steelers will jump to 2-4 on the season as the Chargers will drop to 2-4 on the season on Sunday Night Football, and then we go on to Monday night, where I was just a little bothered. Good football game, man. The Packers came out balling. Rodgers doing the usual. 24 for 39 and decent. 283 yards and decent. 2 receptions. 2 touchdowns. Awesome. 1 interception. Happens. But how about Stafford, man? 18 for 32 and 265 yards. It's about the same, actually. Probably a little less. Okay, or right around the same ballpark. Okay, but no touchdowns but no picks either. Regardless, Johnson, I thought we'd see a little more out of him. However, the Packers are a very stout defense, so can't take that away from the Packers. 13 carries for 34 yards and 1 touchdown, okay? And then Galladay, man, this guy's the real deal. Where's that applause button, man? This guy's the real deal. 5 receptions for 121 yards. That is awesome. That is awesome. Then you have eclipsing the century mark, okay? Williams from the Packers, 14 carries and 104 yards. Great job there. And Lazard catching that crazy pass down the line. But as Booger McFarland said on the telecast, I mean, dude, Rodgers has laid that sucker right in the breadbasket, man. Where only he can catch it. It's what do you call it? A Hall of Fame throw? Or an Aaron Rodgers throw or something like that? Hall of Fame throw. I mean, we all know Aaron Rodgers is going to be a future Hall of Famer, but 4 receptions for 65 yards and 1 touchdown. Good job for Lazard. But I'll tell you right now, man, at the end, I didn't care for that. That was kind of, I didn't like that. I'm a defensive lineman, guys. I don't like that whole hands to the face crap. They call it bogus penalty in my opinion. And the Packers just capitalized on it. It's not their fault, but I think the referees called it a crappy call. They would kick the field goal anyway, and the Lions would have had another chance. Will the Lions would have won it? We don't know. Okay, would the Raiders have beaten the Patriots after the tuck rule? We still had time on the clock, guys. And they also marched down the field, and Vinatieri kicked that incredibly awesome field goal in the snow. It was like a 55-yarder. So I'm just saying, woulda, coulda, shoulda. The Packers could have definitely still won this game. Okay, their defense could have held, and they played pretty good. As you can see, they definitely kept the offense in check. Okay, for the most part, except for Galladay. Had a pretty good day, but what I'm getting at is the fact that it wasn't a set in stone thing. We didn't, it wouldn't have been 100%. But what did make it set in stone, what did make it set in stone was the Lions having, no timeouts, and well, they're smart. They took a knee. The Packers are smart. They took a knee, and then they just kicked the field goal as time expired. Great job to them. Mason Crosby will kick the game-winning field goal, jump into the stands for a Lambeau leap. And the Packers will jump to 5-1 on the season as the Lions will drop to 2-1. So, with that said, y'all, that is a recap of Week 6. Let's get into a quick little recap of the standings, or a little bit of a look at the standings, and then we will go ahead and get on into our primetime face-offs, y'all. And then, of course, at the end, Mr. Mike Pat will be joining me at the end of the show. We'll be making our picks for Week 7, and that will be that. So we got a lot of show coming up your way, guys. We got another 2 hours ahead of y'all, so let's get it. I know I started 5 minutes late today. Sorry, guys. But here we go. Take a look here at all the standings, courtesy of the ESPN Question Wrap, where I'm getting my sources from here. Let's take a look. So, we have in the AFC, starting off with the AFC and the AFC East, we have the Patriots, doing what the Patriots do, 6-0 on the season. The Buffalo Bills, the only team to fight them this year, and I can't wait to see that next game in Gillette. But it was a great game a couple weeks ago in Buffalo. Regardless, Buffalo at 4-1. Then we have the Jets at 1-4 and the Miami Dolphins at 0-5. I wonder who's winning that division, guys. Anyway, in the AFC North, Baltimore at 4-2, Cleveland at 2-4, Pittsburgh also at 2-4, and Cincinnati rounding out the AFC North at 0-6. And then we have in the AFC South, Houston at 4-2. Indianapolis at 3-2. Jacksonville at 2-4. And Tennessee at 2-4. Extremely wide open division, guys. I'm telling you. Well, extremely wide open division, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, it's going to be such a great finish. Then in the AFC West, I cannot believe my Raiders are second place. This is really Twilight Zone, Anyway, the Chiefs at 4-2. The Raiders at 3-2. Denver at 2-4, and the Chargers at 2-4, and that will round out the AFC. On into the NFC East, we have here Philadelphia at 3-3, Dallas at 3-3, the Giants at 2-4, and the Redskins, they're only 2 games back, guys, at 1-5. Oh, this is going to be a great division. Am I saying the Redskins and the Giants are going to win it? No. But then again, crazier things have happened. Well, maybe not. I have no idea, but we'll find out. Regardless, that's quite the wide open division. In the NFC North, as I like to call the coldest division in the NFL, we have the Packers at 5. And by the way, speaking of names, the powerhouse division of the NFL, the NFC East. Even though some people say the NFC West has given it a run for its money, and I don't know. I mean, hey, let the Cardinals get a little bit better, and it really could turn into that in the next couple of years or so. Anyway, in the NFC North, we have here the Packers at 5-1, Minnesota at 4-2, Chicago at 3-2, and then Detroit at 2-1. In the NFC South, another really interesting division because we have 2 teams at the top fighting for it all. One team towards the middle, in the middle, that's, getting better by the week, and one team who is just, they're there, but I don't know if they're really there. Anyway, New Orleans at 5-1, Carolina at 4-2, Tampa Bay at 2-4, and Atlanta at 1-5. And then, last but never least, the NFC West, we have the San Francisco 49ers at 5-0, the only undefeated team in the NFL. They deserve that, y'all. They deserve that. I'm sorry, not the only undefeated, I'm sorry. The only undefeated team in the NFC. Sorry. And I think, once again, as I mentioned, I think I heard on the telecast, it was 1990 or somewhere in the 90s. First time they've been undefeated, or 5-0 since then. So anyway, Seattle at 5-1. The Los Angeles Rams at 3-3, and the Arizona Cardinals at 2-3-1. So that is how everything will look right now. After Week 7, we'll do this again, and then after Week 8, we'll start doing the playoff picture every week, and I'll kind of tell you, if the playoffs started tomorrow. Kind of stealing a page out of Nico Green's book. Our as Cale Henderson calls him, our resident hockey expert. Catch them last night. They had a really good show on the Neutral Zone. Of course, every Tuesday evening here, talking all kinds of hockey right here on IE Sports Radio, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, y'all, we got something for everybody here at IE Sports Radio. So, with that said, y'all, we're going to take ourselves a short break, and when we get back, it is time. It is time to talk. Well, it's actually time for our primetime face-offs, y'all, so I'm ready for that. Hopefully you're ready for that, because it's going to be a good one. So here we go, y'all. There is your recap of week number 6 in the NFL. Let's get ready for week number 7. So, with that said, we're going to take a show break, and we will get back to our first primetime face-off of the evening. Thursday Night Football tomorrow. Chiefs, Broncos, let's get it. You're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running points, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, IESportsRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin. In the National Football League, there are approximately 17 million total fans.
I'm Andrew Guzman. My Dallas Cowboys make up almost 9 million of those fans.
And my Seahawks have a very loyal fan base of around 4 million.
That's more than 3/4 of all the fans.
That's absolutely correct, Andrew. And on the Common Ground Football Podcast, we'll be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of these teams.
We'll have weekly picks, discuss transactions, injuries.
And we'll chat about the rest of the league, too.
Blake freaking Bortles?
Oh, yes. And Captain Andrew Luck.
Excellent. What about Fitzmagic?
Oh, let's not get carried away now.
Oh, all right then.
Join us each week at commongroundfootballpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It's going to be
awesome.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan? Indeed.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you go. Plenty of great shows that you can hear here on IE Sports Radio, including that young lady right there, Miss Caitlin Seam. Trust me, her show is not what it seems. I mean, that's the name of it, but it's also not what it seems. Trust me. If you want a woman's point of sports by a woman who really knows her sports, you kind of want to catch that one. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on IE Sports Radio. We got a full slate coming your way tomorrow, by the way, guys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a big slate coming your way. We got, let's see here. Starting us off, this Miss Caitlin Seam, as always, with Not What It Seems, 2 p.m. Pacific Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Then we're going to have, immediately following her, at 3 Pacific Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, our brand new spinoff of Ringside. Mr. William Hughes will be talking the latest in boxing for Ringside. And then after that, Miss Caitlin Seam jumps back on the airwaves along with Mr. Daryl Kinzig Jr., Miss Lolita Camello, and Mr. Michael Ward on The Extra Mile. They got plenty to get into. The NHRA is getting to the countdown for one right now. Well, they're countdown to one almost. Well, they're actually already almost through it. I'm excited. I really want to go to the NHRA finals coming up this year. Really want to try and make it. Of course, we got the NASCAR playoffs going on right now. And, of course, Formula One, well, we already know who won it. Lewis Hamilton, just saying. But whatever. Anyway, you say it. I'm a big fan of his. But Mercedes got it done again. So, once again, now, plenty of sports going on here. Something for everybody. As I call October the Sports Junction, because everything's crossing right now. So, I'm loving it. With that said, let's get on into our first prime-time face-off of the evening. Are y'all ready? I know I am! Let's get it!
I'm absolutely ready.
I love it because they're just ready. Oh, they're just jumping all over. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Bring the thunder. Because it's about that time. Representing, well, this is a, this bout is scheduled for 12 rounds. This is going to be regarding tomorrow, of course, Thursday Night Football, as we have an AFC West showdown going on here. Ready excited for this, of course. You know me, of course, an AFC West guy myself. And we have here, starting things off for the week, the Denver Boston. Let me go ahead and rephrase that, because they're not the home team. I mean, they are the home team, I'm sorry. The Kansas City Chiefs, who have just lost 2 games in a row. You heard me be extremely critical of them in the last segment, to teams that they really should not have lost to. Regardless, well, maybe the Texans, but regardless, this big, bad, scary Kansas City team, I don't know. And the Broncos. Interesting. Tennessee. But is Tennessee that good? Lots to talk about in the segment. As we have here, the Kansas City Chiefs head on over to a mile high to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos. And to represent the Kansas City Chiefs, we have here a newcomer here to IE Sports Radio. It's his first time on air and hopefully not his last by a long shot. He is without a doubt a diehard Chiefs fan and absolute overall NFL nut like myself, it seems. He is one half, as a matter of fact, one half of he does write articles. I love how he says it on his Twitter. Semi-funny articles for Arrowhead guys. And he is one half of, and this is pretty cool, Dave and Brandon Destroy the World on YouTube. We're looking at that earlier. It seems pretty cool. And he's also one half, or I don't know if he's 1/3. I forgot how many guys he said he was on Chop Talk. But he's also a host on the Chop Talk podcast, talking, of course, Kansas City Chiefs. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a very warm welcome, because once again, it's his first time here, but hopefully it won't be his last by a long shot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming part of the infamous Red Sea at Arrowhead Stadium, he is Mr. Dave. What's going on, Dave?
What's going on? Hey, I heard a lot about my opponent tonight being the Hall of Fame inductee to come. I'm just going to go ahead and hope that I am the next Patrick Mahomes to come in and give you one season and end up being the MVP. So
I love it. That's what I'm talking about, Joe. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Yes, I love it because you can tell Dave. He's has a couple shows of his own. He knows how to bounce it all over the place. And well, wouldn't you know it, he just gave me a perfect segue because, ladies and gentlemen, I am announcing her first because this woman is every bit as advertised, as awesome as she is, and I'm so glad that she has been a part of us. Every time I need her, she's like right there. She's absolutely one of the most diehards here on this station and on 3 Now specifically, and I'm so glad to have her back yet again. You already know who it is, listeners. I mean, seriously, and even if you didn't read the tweet earlier, well, here we go. Where's that thunder at? Ladies and gentlemen, she is the chief editor of SB Nation's Mile High Report. She is without a doubt one of the biggest Broncos fans you will ever meet. I'm talking about ever, in the history of ever. And let's just say she is also up for nomination this year. Well, she has been nominated for the 2019 IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame, the 2019 IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame class, the second IE Sports Radio class ever. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce one piece of the gigantic portion of people that is the Orange Crush. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Miss Lori. What's going on, Lori?
Feeling pretty good. I'm already I'm starting to try on my gold jacket as we speak, actually.
You might just get one of those in the mail. I'm just saying. I'm so excited for you, Lori. You are awesome, and you know what? You've like seriously, like you're awesome because like you you need to be recognized for something. Gosh darn, I'm sure you have many awards, but I'll tell you what, we want to recognize you here for being as awesome as you are. Your talk of Broncos football is downright hilarious sometimes with how nasty you stick it to this team. It's kind of funny because if you notice, the real diehards are the ones who stick it to their team. It's pretty funny, like it really is. So.
Yeah.
So
we love them the most.
What was that?
I said we love them the most and we hate them the most.
Exactly, and I think we're going to see that from Dave tonight. I think everyone hears that with me and the Raiders. I mean, I've seriously been asked by my colleagues many times to shut up about the Raiders and give them props, and then I will give them their props, and then I'll just tear them down again. So I just think that's what it's all about, y'all, being a diehard, expecting perfection, and that's all there is to it. So with that said, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, prime time face-off number 1 of the evening. Let's get it! All right, y'all, so first things first, I love X Factors. X Factors are just a big part of the game, and that's all there is to it, and I want them, and I want them now. Starting things off here, we have the away team. Starting it, we have Mr. Dave with the Kansas City Chiefs, and we'll continue up with Miss Lori and her Denver Broncos. Here we go. As Mike Pat would say, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it going, y'all. So, all right, Mr. Dave, let's get on to it, man. X Factors, you guys are not the home team this week. You guys are on the road, a mile high. You guys are taking on this Kansas City Chiefs team. You had 2 tough weeks to just get through. I mean, I don't know. Ouch. Regardless, I want a minute's worth of X Factors for this game. You have 1 minute on the clock. Let us know who you think is going to be a big part of this game. Of course, an X Factor to help you guys win this thing. You have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
Hey, well, if you're from Kansas City, you already know that we have a guy in costume called X Factor, so he's absolutely not that guy. You can actually look him up on YouTube and figure out why. But the biggest X Factor in this game that we have is quarterback, because we have one. So it's a pretty nice place to start off. I mean, when you want to talk about an offense, you want to talk about them distributing the ball and how they're going to do that. And quite frankly, coming off the reigning MVP season that he had last year and almost matching the free agent acquisition the Broncos were lucky enough to bring in back in the day, he almost matched that and brought this team to the cusp of a Super Bowl appearance. So you have to start with that. If you want to talk about another X Factor on this team, when you're looking at the competition that we're playing, you're going to have to look at the head coach. Andy Reid gets a lot of bad rap here and there. He has not made it happen. He's never won the Super Bowl. He's had a lot of failures in the playoffs. But he is better than Vic Fangio. It's just a case in point. When is the last time that Vic has won a game? Oh, wait. Oh, is that my minute? All right.
That's the minute, but that was a good one. I like it. Okay, you know what? Okay, I'll give you 30 seconds. I like where you're going with that one. Go ahead, 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Listen, Vic Fangio as the head coach is what? I think you guys are, 1-4? I think it's 1-4, 2-5. I didn't take a lot of I didn't take a lot of time to look at your team because they're not even competition to us. So I'm really actually spending more time looking at the Raiders. So I apologize. You go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and open up my can of Orange Crush and have a sip while you go ahead and have your turn.
Oh my!
I'll take a big sip because it's got a bunch of whoop ass.
Oh my gosh! He said the Raiders. He was looking at the Raiders. When anyone can ever say they're looking at the Raiders more than any other team, there is something seriously wrong with your team. So I'm just saying. Okay, well, Lori, you just pissed her off. So here we go, Lori. I want some X Factors. Please let me know. You have 1 minute. Actually, you have 1:30 on the clock. Because hey, why not? Just give you the equal amount of time I give Dave. So 1 minute on the clock, and the cheap shots are nowhere near limited at this point in time. We haven't even gotten to the back and forth fire round yet, and it's already begun. So here we go, Lori. 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. Who are your X Factors? Let us know.
Well, first I'd like to refute the Vic Fangio Andy Reid because I believe it was you on your own post that classified Andy Reid as a loser from last week's game, mostly because of his time management in the second half. Is that right? So, yeah. So, I would like to counter that Vic Fangio is also an X Factor he has a very complicated defensive scheme that is taking its time for our guys to figure out, mostly because we also have a bunch of backups. But last week's shutout, you may think it's just Tennessee, but you wait till Mahomes has to have Von Miller, Shelby Harris, Derek Wolfe, and breathing down his neck. I'm trying to think of our new guy. And Mike Purcell.
Get there quicker.
While trying to find an open receiver when Kareem Jackson is there to pick him off. And although Travis Kelce has been his X factor, I think we have a few linebackers, particularly Alexander Johnson, who would be my second X factor for the Broncos, to actually make a big difference for once, for us being able to tackle and maybe even contain Travis Kelce. So I'm going with Vic Fangio's defensive scheme and Alexander Johnson as a defensive back, but my offensive X factor is none other than Philip Lindsay, who's going to run his ass all over your defense.
I love it. Philip Lindsay is the guy that gives me hope. I'm still balling. I'm 5'9", so what was that?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I got respect for Philip Lindsay, and he's probably going to treat our defensive line like the inmates treated Edward Norton in American History X shower scene. I'm not against that. I understand that, okay? But please tell me the last time that Von Miller actually sacked Mahomes. I'll wait. I think we have a podcast for that answer.
I'll tell you the next time he's going to. Thursday night, baby.
Oh, here we.
You might be right because his daddy Eric Fisher isn't going to be in the game. So I guess we'll see how that plays out.
I love
or his
this.
stepfather Mitch Schwartz, because he can't even swap sides and get to him. So I mean, it's fine. I guess maybe he puts a baby powder on his left hand before he throws the ball with it this time.
If the refs would ever call holding, and if Vaughn didn't have double, triple teaming all the time, it'd be a whole lot easier.
Man, I hear that double, triple team a lot about Frank Clark, and I'm just telling you, it's not there. It doesn't have to be there. But go ahead. I'll wait for the next bell. Let's go to the next bell.
I love this. Okay, I'll tell you right now, y'all. Lori and Dave have already set the tone. Like, usually, because tonight, we have a double, guys. Tonight, we have 2 Jets versus 2 Patriots. And one of those Patriots is Hall of Famer, and he was already a Hall of Famer inductee. Pete Garofalo will be jumping on air tonight. So I'm just saying, you guys already set the tone. So, and I think our second, I seriously have this feeling that our second primetime face-off between 2 newcomers, a new Eagle and a new Dallas Cowboy. Oh my gosh, that second one's gonna be good. So I'll tell you right now, you 2 have already set the tone, and I am loving it. So let's get ahead and get on to the next question. Here we go. So I like this because this is where you guys get to fight each other. you ladies and gentlemen get to fight each other. This, I mean, like you already have it. Anyway, so here we go. This is going to be fun. We are going to go ahead and jump on into the weaknesses. This just stirs the pot. Oh, and I'm a pot stirring kind of guy, and at least in this on this show. So here we go. Starting things off here. Dave, you start us off, man. You are the away team. Pick out a weakness that you feel the Broncos have and that you feel you can exploit to help you guys get the victory on the road a mile high. You have 1 minute. Begin.
I thought I already addressed that. I really thought you were going to ask me for a weakness in my own team, which would have given me more things to talk about. But really, quite frankly, you have a Joe Flacco, a elite Joe Flacco in his prime, because he's a tall white guy who stands like a statue in the pocket, and that's what Elway likes the most. So really, to be able to corral him, put it this way, I think Elway's dentist probably does more work on his teeth than we're going to have to do against Flacco. I don't think it's going to take a whole lot to limit him with, Emmanuel Sanders that may not be at full speed. We'll see how that injury report comes out. There's many injuries that they have in the secondary as well for their defensive squad. So there's going to be a lot of different areas to exploit. I think it's going to be a matter of staying away from Denver's linebackers, which is pretty much their only strong suit outside of a couple pass rushers. And quite frankly, that's all I got. I don't think it's going to take too much for Andy Reid to scheme around a team such as this.
Right at the buzzer. Okay, well, there you heard it. Lori, You know what he said? He said, your Broncos suck! So here we go. Let's go ahead. But first things first, Lori. I want to hear this. I want to hear...
I give him a lot more credit if his Hall of Famer, future Hall of Fame quarterback wasn't nursing an ankle injury that leads to disastrous consequences in the second half of the game. I would also be a lot more confident if I were him and I had my starting cornerback, my starting wide receiver, my starting offensive tackles. So I think that what the Broncos need to exploit are the starters who are injured and taking advantage of those positions being a weakness. Our offense is not elite. I won't even try to argue that one. But we do have elite running backs who can just run roughshod over your defense. And we have a big receiver in Cortland Sutton. So if everybody wants to pay attention to Emmanuel Sanders, Cortland Sutton is a big, fast guy who can run a route, and he and our elite quarterback have had quite a bit of chemistry. So he will be able to test your young corner, and while you have your starting corner out, I think our wide receivers can actually take advantage of that mismatch.
Right at the buzzer. I mean, seriously, y'all two are two. And it's funny because I usually have you guys defend your team, but it's kind of funny because Lori kind of threw her defense in there. I usually give you guys 30 seconds to defend, but Lori's like, I don't care. I'm going in all in right now. So you not only defended your team, but gave the weakness as well. So now I give 30 seconds to Dave. What do you think, man? What do you think about what she said? And you think, hey, it's actually, okay, I'll give her some props. That is a weakness. Or, oh, no, that's just not going to happen. 30 seconds. What you got?
All right, well, I'm going to actually shy away from my typical go-to, which is humor, and I'm going to throw some numbers out here. How about that? Broncos, points per game, 26th in the league. Yards per game, 25th in the league. Pass yards per game, 23rd in the league. Rush yards with your elite running backs, 14th in the league. That's roughly average, Lori. And then the Chiefs, points per game, 5th. Yards, 3rd. Pass yards, 1st. Rush yards, 24th. So once again, I do agree that Philip Lindsay is probably going to do his best Charlie Sheen impersonation and completely blow through our line. But I don't think that's going to be enough for you guys to win the game. I'm sorry.
Let me throw some numbers at you. 0-2 in the last 2 weeks, buddy.
What's your record right now in the season? What was that? I thought you lost to the Raiders. Did you lose to the Raiders?
It's all about the trend. It's all about the trend.
It's all about the trend. It's like, you know what? The Chiefs are about to be trending on Twitter after Thursday night, okay? So how about that?
This is great. I like literally just want you to keep going. This is great. Okay, so this is awesome. And yeah, they lost the Raiders. I don't know how that happened, but I don't know how the Bears lost to the Raiders. I'm sorry. My team is so terrible. Anyway, guys, so with that said, I mean, we were doing good, but then, you know the Raiders, one thing goes wrong, and then the defense forgets how to play football, and the mistake wasn't even on offense, on defense. You know, that kind of stuff. But anyway, so let's get on over here to let's see here. Let's go ahead. Okay, so we went back and forth already, so now we're getting into the game plans, y'all. This is always fun because this is just, I love this because this is also back and forth. So, game plans. I want to hear all about what you think your team needs to do to go get that victory. So we're going to start off 1 minute on the clock. Dave, let us know, man. What do your Chiefs need to do to head on over to a Mile High and get that victory on, well, tomorrow night?
Well, I'm pretty sure that at this point your listeners don't want to hear me just talk smack anymore. So let's get into something a little bit more serious. Tyreek is going to have to throw the deuces up at least twice. I think he's going to be able to do it. We saw him come back in limited action this past week against the Texans, who, yes, once again, they kind of look like a mash unit, except for the more sullen Alda, except for the happy, fun ones. So, they were still able to do some things, but as long as he's able to get open down the field and defeat the main coverage like he normally can, that's good. We need to do short pass offense to protect Mahomes. We're going to have to start doing things to make the field shorter, get the ball out of his hands quicker. On defense, man, we're going to have to let those nuts hang like this Salem witch trials. Like, they're going to happen. We're going to have to start coming in like Matthew and Frank Clark were supposed to have in the very beginning. So as long as we can force Flacco into short throws, because for some reason he can't throw anything inside of 9 yards that's anywhere within arm's reach of a receiver, he can throw it downfield all he wants, and that's going to be their biggest asset is his big arm. So as long as we're able to keep them to short passes and try to get ahead of them quickly and destroy their ability to run on us, then we should be okay.
Okay, well, that is I like that game plan. So, Lori, now's your time. You heard exactly what he said his team needs to do. So now you have 30 seconds on the clock. What do you think? Do you think that's actually respectable? Like, you know what? That makes sense because that's exactly what they need to do to win it? Or do you think, you know what? It's just not going to happen. And once again, completely shutting out your answer. So, Lori, go ahead. 30 seconds on the clock. What do you think about his game plan?
Well, actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of both. The game plan is good. I think because our game plan is gonna have to be getting pressure on Mahomes, and the way we're gonna have to do that is solid inside pressure from our inside linemen, which has been a weakness but has been strong the last 2 games with some personnel changes, so that Von Miller and whoever's coming with him, Malik Reed or Draymond Jones or possibly even Shelby Harris, can be getting to Mahomes and creating enough problem for him that he can't just launch it downfield. So our defense has to work in sync. Our cover guy, our quarterbacks, Chris Harris Jr. and whichever backup is working with him, Devontae Harris. They're going to have some tandem work to help Chris, to make sure, because Chris Harris Jr. can be on an island. The other guys need some help. So our game plan is going to have to be really strong coverage back there, but still keeping some linebackers ready for Kelsey. Kelsey honestly worries me more than even Tyreek Hill because of what our defense has been good at and what they've been bad at. Our final tactic, though, is give the ball to Lindsey, give the ball to Lindsey, give the ball to Lindsey. He has been able to find space between the tackles, outside the tackles. He breaks through and gets 15 yards. He's little and fast, and no matter how defenses scheme for him, he is able to get yards. And so we need to keep the ball, we need to keep running the ball, and then have that long TD to the end zone to win the game.
Lori, I really like the fact that you call Lindsey small and fast. It's kind of like my sex life. But I am going to say this. If you guys want a chance to win this game, you need to go back to the Tebow playoff game and let Flacco pass 2 to 3 times in the entire game and let Lindsey do his thing. I don't want to lose this game, but that is the way that you can do it, okay?
I know. I mean, Lindsey all day long is the note I wrote down here. But, we might not be able to only hand off the ball. Lindsey, we got to save that kid. We have a few more games.
Hey, I've seen Flacco run. He's good at picking up a good 4 yards in 17 seconds, okay? Yeah.
He did against the Chargers. I'm sorry. Anyway, those poor Chargers. They have more problems than a math book, man. My gosh. Anyway, they do. I don't even know what to say. If either of you were listening to me earlier, I was so critical on them because I don't even know what the hell. I had them going to the goddamn playoffs, and here they are making me look stupid. The one time I'm nice to the stupid Chargers, they're doing this. So I'm like, are you serious? So anyway.
The Chargers need to get a new medical unit or something.
No shit. Holy cow. I haven't seen a group of people go down that hard since Bang Bus. I mean, that was crazy. Their entire offense and their line completely disintegrated. It was like an Avengers movie and somebody snapped. Right. It was crazy.
And it's like that every season, or it has been for many seasons. I mean, honestly, you got to feel bad for Phillip Rivers sometimes. He's like playing with the high school kids out there. When he's got 16 sex trophies, I'm only so upset because apparently his wife isn't. Okay, so he's doing very well. He's doing very well where it matters. Okay, so.
I love it. He's definitely. I always say that Phillip Rivers is definitely on a serious note. He's one of my best quarterbacks of the entire freaking. Of this entire time. Like, seriously, he is absolutely, of this entire era, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks because this dude is just, He's unreal, man. He hardly ever has an offensive line, and he freaking finds ways to win. So, anyway, with that said,
he looks like a Lego block passing the ball. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. So
we'll talk Chargers another day if I'm allowed back on. We'll see how the censors deal with it.
You definitely are. So here we go, y'all. We have here. Oh, we got a tweet by Mr. Mike Robb. Big shout out to Mr. Mike Robb, of course, another big time dude who listens to the show, of course, a big-time listener and contributor on all of our posts and everything. Joins us in the groups on Sundays. He says Patriots... sorry about that. I think he put on the Monday post. Sorry about that. But we do have the final results of the voting poll in, and, well, here we go. Thank you to everybody who voted on the voting poll for this week. Definitely appreciate you all, and here we go. First things first, I just want to say a gigantic thank you to both Mr. Dave and Miss Lori. You are awesome! That was an awesome day, Thank you so much.
Awesome time.
That was awesome. Definitely appreciate you all so much. So here we go, y'all. Starting with the, let's see here, where are we at? Okay, so looking at the voting poll here, courtesy of Twitter, of course, on our iSports Radio page. Here we go. So, wow, this is a lot more lopsided than I thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be a lot closer, but here we go. And with 71% of the votes, you, the listeners, are going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this thing on the road. 71%.
Oh, man.
70.
I am.
I mean,
I'm actually shocked there are 31% out there for the Broncos. Or 29 or whatever, 29%. See, I don't do math.
See,
no, I mean,
those were all Broncos fans.
Yes, the Broncos are great. Look, if it makes you feel better, I am actually I'm very in between on this game. It's a short week. It's a divisional game. Actually, your guys' defense does look pretty good. I just like to talk smack. So, but unlike my defensive coordinator squad, I'm here to actually defend the Chiefs. But I'm just saying that you guys have done a great job. Like, the one thing that I really do appreciate about the Broncos, and I'm only doing this because I won. Trust me, if I lost, I would talk more shit. But the one thing that I do appreciate you guys is you're a strong defensive unit, whereas our defensive tactic is apparently meet the ball carrier in a friendly manner and let them know they're doing a great job and ask them to lay down. So, you guys have been doing a good job in that aspect, and it's going to be a fun one to look at later on, this season. So I really appreciate everything that you guys do.
I think it's going to be a good one. Lori, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. This is always one of my favorite games every season, even when the Broncos aren't as good as the Chiefs, because rivalries make games better. And last year was a great example because we were really, honestly, by record, much farther apart than the Chiefs, and I feel like we might be this year. And we still played really tough. It's always a home game for either team is always a great advantage, but also super tough for the opponent. So, Thursday night prime time at Mile High, our defense is feeling confident, and I think they really want to at least try to sack Patrick Mahomes one time.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you guys, Mahomes is the Jeff Bezos of the AFC West, and he owns all of you and refuses to make life easy for anyone who doesn't buy into his product. So it's, I'll be curious to see how that works out.
We'll see. But I do think that if we were as competitive as we were last year, we have a good chance to win, or at least make it a really entertaining, solid matchup. AFC West rival. So,
under which one of your three quarterbacks?
We don't have three quarterbacks right now.
Last year. That's what I meant. Last year.
What year? I'm not even paying any attention to the last 3 years. 2016, 17, and 18 do not exist in my Broncos memory.
Yeah, I'm missing 3 years of memory from my college days, too, so I completely understand. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I'll tell you what, y'all, that was awesome. I certainly appreciate you both so much. That was really great. And I look forward to having you both on there very soon. This is always a great time here with Lori, and great job, man. Once again, Dave, that was a great job. Well, now I'm going to give you a few minutes for the both of you, as I always do. Dave, where can these diehard Chiefs fans find you, as well as find you on Twitter, any other social media you like to release, as well as all of your shows, who you write for, all the good stuff, man? Where can I find you?
Yeah, well, I know this is where typically everybody's tuning out, so I'll make it really quick. You can find me at arrowheadguys.com. I'm the guy actually named, Dave. I write semi-funny articles while everybody else does all the hard work and does film breakdowns. You can also find me on Twitter at AnyGivenSunDave. That's with a V-E at the end. A lot of times I like to tell people I spell my name, my name is Dave with an E, just to give them or get a weird look from them. You can also check us out on the YouTube channel, Dave and Derek, not Dave and Brandon. Dave and Derek destroy the world. No, you're good. It's not like you messed my name up in the first Twitter post either.
I did.
I'm just messing with you. Dave and Derek destroy the world. We just put out our first episode. It's pretty funny, and you can see exactly how much I drink while I'm doing these kinds of things if you watch it. So, and for my last comment, because I know we got to go, I do want to say, Lori, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. You're awesome, and I wish you the best going forward.
Thank you very much. Same to you.
Well, there you have it, Dave and Derek. I don't know why I said Brandon, my bad. So here we go. Also, Miss Lori, where can these diehard Broncos fans find you, as well as all of your work and anything else you'd like to share?
Well, all of my brilliant words can be found at milehighreport.com, and all of my brilliant musings can be found on Twitter. I am at DocLLV. And I would also like to say, Dave, it's been great sparring with you. I love this matchup. I always love sparring with Chiefs fans, and I hope it's a great game. I really hope all the players stay healthy. I honestly hate injuries. I'd love to have a matchup later in the season when every team is healthy and we see, mano, who's better.
I would love that as well. That'd be great.
It's going to be awesome, guys. So, with that said, y'all, that will do it. When we get back, it's primetime face-off number 2, Sunday Night Football. We are transitioning from the AFC West on over to the NFC East. We got the Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys, and my gosh, this is going to be kind of weird. Two teams who I couldn't even tell you what the hell is going on, especially due to last week. So with that said, stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back at you with another primetime stop. You're listening to, well, as I guess may I just say, the bar has been set by these two here, by Mr. Dave and Miss Lori tonight. So let's see what the next primetime face-off brings. You're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hello and welcome to the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
My NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such wore tonight, and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone. Because on Wednesday nights, I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in. And we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired of all the drama. Tired of all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Of course, y'all. You gotta check out Sports Done Right with my main man, Mr. Vince, right up there in Minnesota doing his thing, y'all. So big shout out to him. And gotta show him some love as always, man. Great dude, and certainly had lots of great stuff with him before in the past with being on this show, talking about his Vikings, as well, of course, having him a part of of course, Ringside here on IE Sports Radio. He's one of the hosts of Ringside. Him and Mr. Go Bautista talking about boxing, of course, plenty of that but they're on a hiatus at the moment right now. Mr. William Hughes will be taking over tomorrow for Ringside, but you want to check that out for sure. So with that said, y'all, Primetime Face-Off number 1 was a doozy. That was a fun one, man. That was awesome. Once again, big shout out and applause to Miss Lori and Mr. James, man. That was awesome. So, the bar has been set, and we are now off into the second primetime face-off of the evening. And let me just say right now, the first one was a rivalry, and the second one, well, it's a rivalry as well. Let's get to it, y'all. So, with that said, we have Sunday Night Football, a NFC East face-off in the, quote-unquote, powerhouse division of the NFL. Once again, I say quote-unquote because some people don't feel that it is. Some people feel that it is. Some people think the NFC West is giving it they were kind of giving it a run for their money. And then the NFC East kind of really took over again. But it's kind of looking like that a little bit again with the NFC West if the Cardinals were to get a little bit better. But regardless, I'm just going to say the powerhouse division of the NFC, and we got a great battle, y'all. These two have been going head-to-head for a very long time. Let's get it. So, Introducing the away team. All the way from Philly. That's right, y'all. Of course, a die-hard Philadelphia Eagles fan, and without a doubt, ready to rock and roll tonight. He's an all-around Philadelphia kind of guy, and I'm glad to have him here for his first time, hopefully not his last, here on IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in, of course, once again, all the way from Philly. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kev from Philly. What's going on, Kev?
What's going on? That's why Eagles fly, baby. Philly all day.
I'm loving it, man. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. This is awesome because they're actually from there, y'all. It's even better because Kev's from Philly. And our next guest for tonight is, well, you guessed it, from Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, another first timer here on IE Sports Radio, here to give you to drop all the knowledge on about these Cowboys and to go heads up with Mr. Kev from Philly. Ladies and gentlemen, he runs the IE Sports. He runs the IE Sports. Wow. He runs his own YouTube channel, by the way, the Texas Sports Roundup. So check him out, man. And I love it because he has one name, y'all. And I believe with this one name, he's trying to represent the entire state. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming of the Texas Sports Roundup, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Texas. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Real good, brother. How you doing, man? You doing good today?
Doing good. Doing good.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Well, here we go.
I just can't wait till Sunday because I just know that the Eagles paid the wrong quarterback.
You know something? I'm sorry, Kev, but letting Foles go. Anyway, I'm just saying. Anyway, with that said, I know he's hurt right now, but nothing against Wentz, but
I hope you give Dak $40 million a year. Go ahead and do it. I hope. Go give that man his money. Hey, 2-0, baby, 2-0.
Here we go, y'all. Love it. The chippiness has begun. Let's get it with it, y'all. So, let's get with it. I want X Factors, and I want X Factors now. I love you some X Factors. Let me know how it goes down, y'all. Kev, you have 1 minute on the clock, man. Give me some X Factors that are going to help your Eagles go on over to that beautiful stadium, Jerry World, if you will, and come back with a victory all the way to Philadelphia, man. Let us know your X Factors. You got 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
All right. So essentially, it's going to come down to how the defense comes out involved. Pass rush is essential. You know that feeds everything to the corners, which have been terrible. Making them look better. Just stopping that first guy on with that pass rush. So that's the first thing. The other thing is just the balance on offense. Keeping that balance. Sometimes they get a little pass happy. So pretty simple. There's not much more needed to be said. Balance on offense. That pass rush on defense will take over the game.
Okay, well, short and sweet, y'all. Look at that, 42 seconds, or 40 seconds, actually. So, okay, nice little, nice X Factors there. All right, Texas, what you got, man? Let us know your X Factors to help you guys beat these Eagles at home on Sunday night. You have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
I don't know what you're talking about by pass rush because when I look at the stats, the Eagles' defense gives up 24.8 defensive points per game. They're 23rd in the league. They're 14th in the league giving up yards. They're 29th, and there's only 32 teams in the NFL. They're 29th in pass yards. And Dak Prescott, give me 1 second. Let me get my offensive.
He's going to the stats.
Dak Prescott averages 443.7 yards per game. So I don't understand where your pass rush is. Anyway, 72.8 rush yards a game y'all's defense gives up. You're second in the league in that. That's okay. But for my Cowboys, our X factor is a coach. Our coach has to show up. I want Jerry Jones to fire Jason Garrett so bad. So bad. Hashtag fire Jason Garrett. But I'm going to give you the edge in coaching, but our defense is better than y'all's. Our lowest statistic, I can't talk right now, is the rush yards per game at 93.8, and we're still 12th in the league on that. But on our offensive side, our I said, our X factor is going to be Michael Gallup. He dropped like 5 or 6 passes this past game against. But I like to see what he does against the Eagles.
Okay, so minute 40, so a little bit over, but I just wanted you to go ahead and finish, man. So, good stuff there. And Gallup, I mean, without a doubt, the dude's a beast. I loved him last year in the Combine, the Senior Bowl. He looked good. He's just a beast, man. So, great stuff there. But, hey, Eagles definitely got, plenty of firepower as well. So, there are the X factors. Let's go ahead and get on to the head-to-head round. You guys wasted no time getting into that already. So, same thing with Lori and Dave earlier. So, I'm loving it, y'all. Great stuff. Keep it coming. But let's have some fun now with the fire round, going back and forth together. And let's talk about weaknesses, y'all. And this is, oh my gosh, if you can, please keep it to a minute. But my gosh, I feel like there's going to be so much said in this segment and the game plan. But let's get to the back and forth round and talk about those weaknesses. So, Kev from Philly, man, let us know, man. Tell us right now some weaknesses on the Cowboys that you feel that your Eagles can take advantage of and just use to beat them in Jerry World on Sunday night. You have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
So, I mean, it's no secret that the biggest weakness for the Cowboys is their coaching, because their coaching is terrible. It's been terrible for a while, which is probably why they haven't won a Super Bowl forever. But, that's point blank period. Other weaknesses, I mean, they do have a strong defense. So there's not really much to nitpick there. Other weakness, honestly, is just the offensive consistency. I mean, and we have that same thing too. So receiver drops that big. Those are the two. I mean, I'm going to point out there. Just consistency on that offensive side and the coaching decisions, because they found it to be pretty terrible for a long time.
With 10 seconds to spare. Good job, Kev. All right. Well, hey, Texas, he said your Cowboys coaching sucks. So, what you think, man? Give us a 30-second rebuttal, man. Do you think, well, apparently you don't think your coaches suck. You are all for them. So, you have 30 seconds. Defend your team.
My head coach sucks, but my offensive coordinator rocks. All right, so that's my rebuttal to that. My weakness on my boys is the head coach. That's it. That's the only weakness. Get him out. We're going places. Anyway, the weaknesses on the Eagles. One is their defense, and two, like I said earlier, they paid the wrong quarterback. 349.3 yards per game passing. That's 20th in the league. Daniel Jones, I believe he's 18th in the league. I want to say Daniel Jones is better than Carson Wentz at this point, stats-wise. Carson Wentz, close to 1,500 yards total in the season, 12 TDs, 3 INTs, 94.3 QBR. Go to Dak Prescott. Close to 1,900 yards, 11 TDs, 6 INTs. 4 of them was not his fault. One of them was a Hail Mary. 2 of them, one, Amari Cooper literally had it. Incomplete pass, interception. Anyways, 6 INTs, 102.9 QBR rating. That's second in the league.
Look
Their
at
defense is in much trouble.
All right, Kev. Well,
it's that playing the league, the Cowboys would be undefeated, right? No, because we deserve to lose against the Saints. The Packers, not so much, but I'm glad we fought back in the second half. The Jets, I want to forget that game.
Well, with that said, 30 seconds on the clock. Kev, defend your team.
Say that one more time. I apologize.
Defend your team, man. You got 30 seconds on the clock. Defend your team.
Oh, man, it's always big time. We go down to Dallas for the game. Listen, the Eagles are going to come in. They're going to smack them right in the mouth, and they're going to put them out of commission. I mean, the Cowboys do nothing but fail when they play competent teams. So I'm fully expecting that. Secondary's been a problem, but they're going to come in and they're going to show some fight. Like I said, the pass rush is going to show up. That's the big thing in the game. They, bring guys down a few times. The run isn't going to be a factor. They're going to show out.
Okay, well, you jumped right on into the game plan, man. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and jump into that game plan. Give a game plan for us right now for your Eagles. What do you guys got to do, man? You already went into it right now, but you can go a little more detail. But what is it that your Eagles have to do to knock off these Cowboys on the road, man? Once again, you have 1 minute on the clock. Begin.
The biggest thing, and I can't stress this enough, the biggest thing is starting fast, starting early. The Eagles' biggest problem is that they put themselves in situations where they're down. It seems like they wait until they're down 10-plus points to want to start coming back. They can't do that. They're gonna lose the game doing that. They're gonna lose multiple games like they have been already. So come out, start fast. They need to take the ball first in offense. Go down, put some points on the board early. That sets everybody else up. That sets the defense up. That gives the offense rhythm. Biggest thing they need to do is game plan, keep it balanced. They get a little pass happy sometimes. The biggest thing is the fast start by the team.
Okay, well, there you go, 48 seconds, so great stuff there. All right, Texas, let us know, man. Game plan-wise, what do you think? You heard everything Kev had to say. You got 30 seconds. Let us know. Do you think that's actually a pretty good game plan against you guys? Or you think, no, not going to happen? 30 seconds. Begin.
Well, that's a good idea, but our boys also start off slow. If you notice against the Miami Dolphins, we only had 10 points in the first half. We ended up beating them 31-6. So we do start off slow. Same thing with you. I kind of see like a 10-9 halftime score. And then I kind of see 27-24 at the end of the game. But, yeah, it's the same thing with us. We need to start off fast, and we need to let Jordan Howard control the game for the Eagles. Let him control the game. He has 66 attempts, 297 yards, 4.5 averages per carry, and only 4 TDs. If we let him run the ball, stop him by the goal line, hold him to field goals, that's a good game plan by the defense. If we let Carson Wentz start passing on us, our defense, our secondary sucks. I'm going to tell you straight on. Our secondary sucks. That's our biggest weakness. So if we let them run the ball and hold them like we've been doing to other teams, holding them to field goals, I think that's one way to beat the Eagles in Dallas. Take the division lead.
Right at the buzzer, man. Okay, well, perfect. You combined your rebuttal as well as your perfect time. That was 1 minute 30 seconds perfectly because I just added the minute on for your game plan. So, all right, Kev, go ahead, man. You got your last hit right here. Your last words or whatever you want for the debate. Let us know, man. What did you think? Do you think that's actually a pretty good game plan versus you guys, or you think not gonna happen, man? You got 30 seconds. What you got?
So, I don't think you want Jordan Howard to take over the game because that's going to take the game. That's going to take the game out of the offense, out of the Dallas hands. I mean, the issue early on is that Jordan Howard didn't get many carries and didn't get many opportunities, but now they started to lock down. He's the workhorse. And I mean, either way, you can let Carson Wentz take over the game too, and he can show you what he needs as long as the receivers are catching the ball, because that's been the issue. I think both teams have the most drops in the NFL, so the receiver's going to catch the ball eventually. But I mean, it is a pretty good game plan. But thing is, with rivalry games, you never know how they go. You can throw stats out the window every time rivalry games come around.
Absolutely, gentlemen. So, NEvsNYJ, virtually shake it up. That was awesome, gentlemen. Great job by both of you, man. Of course, Kev from Philly and Texas here, y'all. So, really glad to have these guys on tonight's show. But you guys did great. So, one last thing to do. Let's get on over to the voting poll and see what the listeners thought. So let's get on over there right now and see. I think the voting results just came in, or they're just shy of coming in. They should be somewhere right around here. So here we go, y'all. The voting results are in. And here we go. This is a little more lopsided as well than I thought, just like the last one. But you listeners, let us know. So we appreciate y'all for voting. Thank you to everybody who voted the last 2 days, or yesterday and today. And here we go. And with 71% of the votes, you, the listeners, are going with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this thing on the road. My gosh, 71%. Kev, what do you think about the listeners, man, and their pick?
They know what's going to happen. Eagles will go down there and they go take care of business.
Hey, man, I mean, I don't know. I think everyone gets jumped on that Jets loss to the Cowboys a little much. But I don't know. Texas, what are your thoughts, man?
It's all good. I thought there were more Cowboy fans in California.
Hey, man, there's Cowboy fans all over the place. I mean, so, I said, those voting results, man, they are all over the place. So we're going to have ourselves some fun. Definitely agree with all the points you guys made, man. That was absolutely awesome. Thank you to everybody who voted today again. And that was certainly, without a doubt, an awesome showdown from both of you guys. So couldn't appreciate y'all more, and thank you so much for being on tonight's show. So with that said, y'all, you get to, of course, always give you, everybody some time, and I want to give you guys the same deal. So Kev, man, go ahead, since you were the away team, let us know, man, where can all these diehard Eagles fans listening find you on Twitter, and also where can they find you anywhere else you would like to share? Let us know, man. You got our you got our attention, man. What you got?
Yeah, so I am on Twitter. Go ahead and follow me at mindofKBR_0133. It's all Philly sports, not just Eagles. Just general sports as well. So you got anything you want to talk about, I'm your guy.
Alrighty, well, it sounds good, and let's get it, and pass it on over now to Texas, man. Go ahead, let us know, man. Where can all these diehard Cowboys fans listening find you, man, and anything else you'd like to share?
On YouTube, at Texas Sports Roundup, of course, and then on Twitter at Texas Sports. Texas S Roundup. And then on Instagram, Texas S Roundup, and go Cowboys. I can't wait till Sunday night.
It's going to be a good one, man. Definitely go check him out, man. Great guy. Great people, man. Definitely appreciate you guys so much. So, hey, thank you guys so much for tonight. We appreciate you both. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you both and your families, man. I look forward to having you both back very soon.
All right. Have a good night.
Have a good one, guys.
All right,
take care.
Take it easy. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Take care, guys. All right, y'all. With that said, that will do it. That was awesome, man. What a primetime face-off we just had there. So once again, give it up, y'all, for those two. That was pretty cool. So let's go ahead and jump it on now to one more break for the evening. And when we get back, well, we got our final primetime face-off of the evening in this final hour, as well as Mike Pack joining me in a bit to give our picks for Week 7, and, of course, our final weigh-in for these 3 primetime face-offs, y'all. So, once again, coming up next, primetime face-off number 3, Patriots, Jets. Here we go. You're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back after this.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
On the DS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the DS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. DS3 is the best source. Can you dig it, son?
Hey USRN fans, Do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world, from the English Premier League to the World Cup to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring.
The international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all that is sports. IE Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Brian McLaughlin. In the National Football League, there are approximately 17 million total fans.
I'm Andrew Guzman. My Dallas Cowboys make up almost 9 million of those fans.
And my Seahawks have a very loyal fan base of around 4 million.
That's more than 3/4 of all the fans.
That's absolutely correct, Andrew. And on the Common Ground Football Podcast, we'll be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of these teams.
We'll have weekly picks, discuss transactions, injuries.
And we'll chat about the rest of the league, too.
Blake freaking Bortles?
Oh, yes. And Captain Andrew Luck.
Excellent. What about Fitzmagic?
Oh, let's not get carried away now.
Oh, all right then.
Join us each week at commongroundfootballpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It's going to be
awesome.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You gotta check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Welcome back, football fans. Well, here we are in the final hour of 3 and Out for this week. It has been a good one so far, y'all. 2 really good primetime face-offs. That last one got a little fiery. The first one got really fiery. I mean, they've all been awesome, so I couldn't appreciate y'all enough for tuning in tonight. This is the final one, though, y'all. We have Monday Night Football. Well, the Patriots definitely had their way with, a team that plays in that same stadium a couple days ago. However, I didn't call it a bad loss. I thought it was actually a pretty good loss. You'll have to listen to the segment of why I said that. I really, really, really like Daniel Jones, man. This guy's awesome. So anyway, with that said, we are now going to jump on into our final primetime face-off of the evening. And that, of course, is Monday Night Football. We have the Jets taking on those Patriots. Well, shall I say the Patriots heading on over to East Rutherford to take on the New York Jets. So with that said, we gotta get to this one pretty quick, but we're gonna have some fun with it, and I'm ready for it. So with that said, guys, let's introduce our combatants for tonight. Taking on 2 Jets fans by himself, he is IE Sports Radio, a Hall of Famer, and I'm so glad to have this guy back here on the show. I'm telling you, he's available every time. He's a Hall of Famer. The same as that way that I said Lori earlier, the Broncos fan, is a up-and-coming Hall of Famer. I hope so, because this guy right here is the real deal. He wants to be a part of every show. He's always all over it. The Follow Friday thing is awesome. I got to get more on that. I'll tell you right now, Pete is the real deal, man. I'm glad to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Boston, just got to say, glad to have him here on the show yet again. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, Mr. Pete Garofalo. What's going on, Pete?
Hey, Larry, how are you?
I'm doing my best, brother. How you doing today, man?
God is good.
God is great. That's right, man. So glad to have you on the show, man. Really glad to have you back.
Thanks for having me. Always enjoy it.
Hey, always glad having you. And of course,
a lot of fun.
It always is, right? So, with that said, we have 2 Hall of Famers on. Wow, I'm jumping the gun. We have 2 Jets fans on the air tonight. Not 1, but 2. We got 2 of them. This is going to be fun. We're supposed to have 2 Patriots fans, but like I said, I don't know where the other one went, but I do know that we got 2 Jets, and they're both here ready to rock and roll. So, introducing the first Jet, we have here his first time here. They're both first-timers here on iSports Radio, hopefully not their last, and they're looking to, have some fun here tonight with our primetime face-off. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from, actually he's from that side of the country as well, all the way from New York. Glad to have him here, ladies and gentlemen. He is the creator of Home of the Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Mr. Michael. What's going on, Mike? How you doing tonight, man?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Hey, glad to have you here, and, looking forward for another great primetime face-off, man. Glad to have you a part of it. And, of course, welcoming the other Jets fan. Hate to say it like that, but he's, a Jets fan as well. Super diehard, and I'm glad to have him here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, Mr. Trevor. What's going on, Trev? How you doing today, man?
What's going on? Feeling good. We them boys, right?
I mean, if you beat them boys, I guess you guys are them boys. So.
We get to say because we beat them for the week. So we get to say it.
Still don't
That's
know how
right.
you guys
I think whoever beats the Cowboys should get to say it for the week.
Right? It's like that. It's like that. Like the turnover crown. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So here we go, y'all. Let's go ahead and get it on in the first one. So we got too much longer. We only got about 25 minutes to go here in this face-off. So let's go ahead and get through it. Good, sharp, crisp, and to the point. So let's have some fun with it, y'all. So first things first, X Factors. I want them now. Pete, you know the deal, man. X Factors. Who do you like? Who are your X Factors for your Patriots? You think they're going to help you guys heading over to MetLife Stadium and get you that victory? Let us know.
Okay. I think, what you saw with the Jets, I think with Darnold, I think the defense is going to have to, play their game. They're going to have to, put pressure on Darnold. They can't let him score 90-yard bombs. They can't let that happen. I mean, what Dallas did towards the end of the game when they almost came back, that's kind of what they need to do. They need to frustrate the Jets. I think they're still young. They're still prone to being frustrated. Just the defense, keep them out of the end zone. That's what they got to do. Keep the crowd out of it.
All right, with time to spare, too, so great job, Mr. Pete. All right, well, let's go ahead and get on over to our Jets. We'll start with Michael. You have 1 minute on the clock, good sir. Who are your X Factors for this game?
To Pete's point, I think the biggest X factor for the Jets is their offensive line. In this matchup, it's not common. It's usually the Jets' defense versus the Patriots' offense, but this year I think it's the other way around. So I think if the Jets' offensive line with Alex Lewis playing left guard and Doga filling in at right tackle, if they could give Darnold some time to throw, which they did last week, only giving up 2 sacks, I think they'll be in this game a lot better than what they were a couple weeks ago when they were up there in Foxborough with Luke Falk starting a quarterback.
All right. Well,
so for me, it's the offensive line.
I like that. Okay, well, good stuff there, and I think definitely the O-line, big part of your big boys, you need to get them going. So, great stuff there, and all right, well, Mr. Trev, you also have 1 minute on the clock. Give us your X Factors for your Jets.
Yeah, well, Mike mentioned the O-line, and I'm going to go with the playmakers, and I'm really going to say that Robbie Anderson's going to have to step up because he's always struggled against the Pats, and if he's healthy, talking about Chris Herndon, if he can get in this lineup, he can be a huge difference maker for this offense. I know Ryan Griffin had a couple of good plays that drive right before halftime where they punched it in the end zone. He had a few big catches. So if, Herndon's better all around, just route running, catching, blocking, if he can play, it will be a huge boost for the offense. But, we really need Demaryius Thomas to turn back the clock and get open. These guys need to get open, and Lev Bell just has to do his thing. He's been great all year. There's really nothing bad to say about Le'Veon. And I'm glad that Ty Montgomery and Bilal Powell actually got some action to really help the offense in case needs to go back to that and just do his thing.
Well, thank you very much. Great job. Under a minute. All of you under a minute, so great time so far, guys. So, okay, I like that. One, the offensive line, the big boys. The other, of course, Robbie Anderson. I love this guy, man. He definitely, I can remember that comment that he said about me going to the Pro Bowl or whatnot. Was that 2 years ago or last year? He's every bit as advertised. This guy made big plays last week. I think he's really coming to his own. He's matured. He's become an incredible athlete, and I want to see him back in the Pro Bowl. The guy's awesome, man. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get on into the lightning or the fire round, as we call the back and forth round. So, Pete, you know how it goes, brother. Here we go. You have 1 minute on the clock. Tell us the weaknesses of the Jets and or what you think the weaknesses on the Jets are and how you, the Patriots, you guys, can exploit them to help you guys get a victory in MetLife Stadium on Monday night. You have 1 minute. Begin.
Okay. I think first of all, I think the Jets, Jets always give the Patriots a hard time. No matter what, even when the Jets are down, they always give the Patriots a hard time. I think the offense, they've got a good rhythm on offense, especially if Philip Dorsett comes back this week. Brady distributing the ball, White running it, Burkhead running it, just keeping them, keeping the Jets on their toes, keeping them, and scoring, and just, like I said, not giving Darnold time to throw, frustrating him, getting him to make mistakes, so you can't open up the running game, covering Anderson. Patriots have an excellent secondary, and that's what they got to do.
Perfect. Right at the buzzer, man. You had a couple seconds there to spare. Okay, well, there you go, man. That is the weaknesses. So I want to hear a rebuttal from both of you. You get 30 seconds apiece. Mike, you first, man. Or actually, let's go Trev this time first. Let us know, man. What do you think? Do you like? Do you necessarily agree? Like, yeah, he's got us. That is a weak point. Or you're like, no. What are you talking about, dude? That's not a weak point. 30 seconds on the clock. Begin.
Hey, I know our offensive line has sort of struggled early in the year, but they've really come together, and I thought they played a pretty solid game against a strong Cowboys defensive line. And the Pats got a good line, but Gase just has to coach around it. And I know the Pats have sort of struggled on offense. They're depleted at the receiver position. Their running backs they're going to have to lean heavily on them. So if we contain their running backs, I think we could really exploit their offense, and it'll be a low-scoring game, in my opinion.
Okay, well, then you just went ahead and added in your weaknesses of. Okay, so that works for me. Okay, so while Trevor just put it all together, Michael, if you want to go ahead and do your 30 seconds of defending your team, basically, or basically, like, what do you think of what Pete had to say? And you were like, do you agree with it, or like, no, not going to happen? Or you can combine them both, how Trevor did, or you can just do your 30 seconds of rebuttal, basically, and then give us your what you think is the weakness of the Patriots. So however you want to do it, man, I'll just start the clock and you do your thing.
Sounds good. I'll do a little combo here.
Okay.
For me, for the Patriots, their weakness before I defend the Jets, it's on the offensive side of the ball with their offensive line and their skill position players. I mean, a lot of these skill guys, if Philip Dorsett could come back and be healthy for them this week, that'll be huge for them. And their offensive line, they struggled a little bit against the Bills, as did ours. But if we could try and get some pressure on Tom Brady, get him off his mark up the middle, that's always the best way to beat the Patriots. Whenever we do beat the Patriots, we're giving Tom Brady fits all day, and that's how it's got to be. To defend the Jets, I think he's right. I think Pete's right. I mean, if Bill Belichick schemes the Jets great, he schemes a lot of teams perfectly with young quarterbacks. So if he could do that and put some pressure on Darnold and disguise some of his coverages to make him throw some interceptions, I think the Patriots are going to have a good chance to win this game. But I do think all in all it's going to be a low-scoring, tight game at the end of the day.
I would love to see that. And with time to spare, you got 20 seconds too. So, Pete, go ahead, man. Defend your team. Talk about, I'll just put a full minute on the clock. What each of these gentlemen said about the weaknesses. Do you agree, or do you not going to happen? What you got?
Okay, I mean, the Patriots, if they're in a situation, they're not wrong that, we don't have the name brands that we've had in the past on offense, but we don't need them. I mean, the Patriots, other than Brady, have been, mixed. The whole team has been interchangeable parts, mix and match. Philip Dorsett was nobody, and now he's like probably the second best receiver on the team. Edelman is solid. Gronkowski's gone, but they're getting, the tight ends are basically just another blocker now, and occasionally you throw to them. One other thing is that, the Jets kind of broke down towards the end, and I was like a little worried that they might not hold on. They did. If they do that against the Patriots, they're in a lot of trouble.
Okay, well, you're right. I didn't even ring the buzzer, but you're right there at like 102, so great job. And okay, so great job, man, on the rebuttal. And I like it because there's lots of respect here. From the first one was awesome, trash talking, but also really cool today. Awesome from Dave and Lori. And the last one, Kevin, Texas. That was a fun one. They got a little fire. But this one, of course, always respectful. When it comes to Pete in a primetime face-off, I mean, the respect is awesome, and I love it. So who's to think? A Jet? Oh, two Jets and a Patriots fan getting along. I mean, but okay, so let's get on into the game plan, the final part of this. Let's get this, y'all. So, Pete, you know the drill, man. Give us in 1 minute's time your game plan. What do your Patriots have to do to get this victory on the road at MetLife Stadium on Monday night? You have 1 minute. Begin.
Okay, it ain't going to be easy. I'll say that much. I mean, Jets, they showed me a lot last week, and they showed me a lot when Darnold's been there. And I mean, they're right with the offensive line. I mean, if the offensive line, if the Patriots can't get any pressure on Darnold, they're in a lot of trouble. That's got to be a huge part of it. The other thing the Patriots have, with the secondary, with
Gilmore,
with the Patriots secondary, and if they can cover Robbie Anderson, if they can hold Le'Veon Bell in the running game, that's huge. Brady will find a way to just dink and dunk, use his running backs as receivers. He doesn't necessarily have to air it out. Just wear him down, keep him out of the end zone. Above all, I think the one thing that got lost with the game on Monday night, got to keep him out of the end zone.
Absolutely. Great stuff there. Okay, so there is the Pete's 1 minute. So now I'll give you guys 30 seconds apiece. What do you guys personally think? We'll start with Mike this time and then go on over to Trev. But let us know, man. Mike, you start us off, man. What do you think? Do you think that's a pretty good game plan? Or do you think, it's not going to happen? What you got?
For the Jets in their case, Adam Gase has to just stay creative. On the defensive side of the ball, they got to get off the field on third downs. When it comes to beating the Patriots, it's the same thing every time. Like, you have to get off the field on third downs. You have to put them in third and longs and get off the field. And on the offensive side of the ball, Gase has to be creative. We didn't see that the first couple of weeks, I guess, because of the injuries. But, throw on first down, get Le'Veon Bell involved in the run game and the pass game, spread the ball around. And it all comes to protecting the quarterback with this team this year. Give Sam the time to throw, make his reads, and we'll be right there with them. It's a divisional game. And like Pete said before, we always play the Patriots tough. It's just closing out the game. So just be creative on offense and get off the field on third down on defense.
Okay, well, I like it. You did the combo again. You pretty much just combined everything together, so that works for me. So it's same thing. If you just want to combine it together, Trev, and just give the defend your team as well as your game plan, you can do the same exact thing, man. So go right on ahead.
Yeah, well, obviously the way to beat the Pats is by just keeping number 12 off the field. Defense has to do a better job on third down. We got to limit the third and shorts. We got to make sure it's at least 3rd and 5 or more to get that defense off the field. And we just got to have long drives on offense. We got to establish the run. We didn't really do that against the Cowboys. I know we're firing the ball from Darnold successfully, but we got to establish a run game and just run that clock down and keep Brady off the field.
Oh, well, there you go, man. Great stuff there. Pete, any thoughts on what these gentlemen had to say about their game plans?
No, I think it's a sound game plan. I think controlling the ball, keeping Brady off the field. If Brady's not on the field, they can't score. If they wear the defense down, I think they got to do that. The other thing I would add that the Jets need to do is they need to be aggressive. If it's fourth and short, go for it. I don't care if it's if it's fourth and short on the 1 yard line, go for it. The worst that can happen, Patriots have the ball deep in your own end, and yet trust your defense.
Yeah, they got to take their shots, too. They got to take their shots down the field.
Yeah, we got to keep their defense honest and spread them out at least.
Yeah. And the Patriots can't let themselves, they have a habit of bend, don't break. They can't let what happened last week with the Cowboys secondary happen with them. If they do that, it's going to get ugly.
I hate to mention it, but penalties are a huge part of the reason they were able to drive down the field so many times, and a lot of them were garbage calls. I hate to bring that up, but that's true. There was a big third down call that was on Jamal Adams.
I was just saying to Larry, how many NFL referees does it take to change a light bulb?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is insane.
The answer is we don't know. Because every time they go to Home Depot, they come back with the wrong thing.
Wow. That makes absolute sense. And yeah, actually last week, I am not dissing the Packers, but
Detroit's got to own it to some extent, but I will say, nobody's a bigger scoreboard guy than me. The scoreboard never lies. But what the refs did last week, it was an embarrassment. The NFL is the biggest, it's the wealthiest sports league in the world. And, to have these referees that are just so substandard, and it's constant. You had a playoff game last year where you have a clear pass interference and it's not called. I mean, it's like it just, and then the NFL, then they overreact. They react and they go too far the other way. It's criminal.
They love to have control of the game. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They love to have control.
Absolutely, guys.
I don't think it's malicious, but I do think that if, say, Adam Silver were commissioner, I think he would be saying to these guys, look, you either get your act together in the next 3 weeks or you're gone.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm a big Matt Patricia fan. Of course, my best friend Alex is, of course, diehard Patriots fan. But I mean, I'm a Matt Patricia guy because I'm a defensive guy all day. I love defense. Mike and Trev, you'll see me on Twitter a lot, and Pete, you already know. I'm the 3-0 guy. Like, I love baseball scores in football because I can't stand touchdowns unless it's my team scoring. But if it's defense scoring, that's a different story. I love defense. I'm sorry. I'm the old school 19-20s king, queen, 3 fullback package versus a freaking bear front. I mean, I'm that guy. Like, I just love nasty, hardcore, freaking grounded out football.
You're not a Bears fan, Larry.
I know.
The Bears are the ultimate. Their best teams are always, their offense is decent, but their defense is dominating.
Always,
every Bears team that's won. That's been the formula.
Absolutely. So, with that said, gentlemen, hey, where's that applause button, man? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being on tonight's show. And we have one more thing to do. And that, of course, is get those final results. And, guys, you already know, man. I hate to sit here and make it so dramatic, but seriously, I think everyone kind of knew who the listeners were going to vote for. So let's just get it on over with. Pete, you already know your boys won this thing with the voting results. Thank you to everybody who voted tonight. Didn't get a whole bunch of voters all week long, but we're doing our best to get more. But I'll tell you what, this was a good stuff so far from anybody who did vote. It's the 27 who voted. Thank you so much for voting on the poll today. And out of all of you who voted, 70% of you are going with, of course, the New England Patriots to win this thing. So I really think it's going to be a great game, though. I think some people are sliding the Jets a little bit more than they should. And personally, the Patriots, they're still the juggernaut. They're still the tough team. It's going to be I think it's going to be a lot tougher than people think it is. The Buffalo game was a lot tougher for sure. But the Jets, they have a lot to prove. So we shall see. But with that said, real quick, guys, once again, big applause for all of you. Thank you so very much for being on tonight's show. Pete, let these dire Patriots know where they can find you. Patriots fans know where they can find you on Twitter and anything else you'd like to share.
All right. You find me on Twitter at PGAR58, PGAR58. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, same name. And, I'm not going to be at the game's not in Gillette Stadium, but when I am at Gillette Stadium, if anybody's there, I'm in Section 101. Stop by, say hi.
That's right, man. Always great stuff there with Mr. P as well. Mr. Michael, let us know, man. Where can these diehard Jets fans find you on Twitter and anything else you'd like to share about what you do?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was good talking to you guys. Pete, great job. We'll see how this game plays out. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Home of the Jets. And you can also listen to me on my podcast, Home of the Jets with Mike Barry. That's on Spotify as well. So give me a follow. Definitely sounds good.
I know.
I'll definitely be following you.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, Pete. I'll shoot you back.
Pete's a great guy. I'm doing the same thing, man. I definitely we got the follow going. Got to check out, of course, that podcast. And, of course, Trev, man, where can these direct Jets fans find you, man?
Yeah, I'm all over the place on Twitter, man. I don't really tweet a whole lot, but I'm in the Jets Twitter. I'm a big Rangers fan, too, for hockey. My Twitter is fanatic_GG, PHNATIC_GG. I'm tweeting all about sports and a little bit of video games on the side. Just following my passions, man.
Alrighty, well,
Jets are going to win Monday, by the way.
What was that said?
Davis White.
23-20, Sam Ficken game-winning field goal to end the game.
I'm loving it. You know what's funny? I didn't even ask all, show long about everybody's final score. Usually I do that, but I blipped today. My bad. But, okay, well, we got the score there. I don't know. Mike, you want to throw a score out there?
Yeah, I'll take a 17-14 Jets.
I like it. Pete, you want to shoot a score out there?
Sure. 21-17 Patriots.
I like it. All right, gentlemen. Well, hey, we thank you all so very much. Hang on real quick. We're going to go to commercial break. When we get back, he's already in the house. And Mr. Mike Pat to end out the last 15 minutes here of the show to give us to give you our picks for week number 7, as well as our final weigh-ins for all of these primetime face-offs. Of course, all of these primetime games coming up. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll see you right after this break.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my 2 co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
That's right, you don't want to miss it. And that is, of course, what you're listening to right now. 3 and Out, right here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday evening, 4 p.m. Pacific. Actually, no, not Wednesdays anymore. Going on to next week, we'll be on Tuesdays now. So we'll be going on 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, I'll be switching it up a little bit. But as I mentioned before, Mike will be joining us. We'll be getting some segments with him, of course, as Colin and John. So they're not going nowhere. It's just to switch up in the times, and probably be able to join us live anymore, but like I said, we'll be getting those in, picks and all the good stuff, so never fear, they're coming up. Of course, Mr. Mike Mr. Mike Pat getting ready for his show coming up after the season. Let's whine about sports. I'm so excited for that. So guys, with that said, bringing him in to talk about the final weigh-in, to get our picks in, ladies and gentlemen, as I always say, the guy who should be running the show, not me, and guess what? He's got his own show now. coming up on IE Sports Radio, as I mentioned. Let's wind about sports. Before we get there in February, glad to have him here on tonight's show to talk about some football. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in the chief editor of the IE Sports Radio blog, as well as just overall diehard sports fan, DC guy all day long. And guess what? His skin's got to win. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Pat. What's going on, Mike?
Not much, Larry. My skin's got to win. The Mystics won the WNBA championship, and the Nationals are in the World Series, so I can't complain right now.
DC United is in the MLS Cup playoffs. The Capitals
DC United, right?
The Capitals won 2 years ago. Skin's got to win
tonight, so you know.
And let's hope that the Wizards do something.
Anything.
Like literally anything.
Anything at all.
Like, I mean, 10 wins would be nice. I'm just kidding. That's really bad. But let's hopefully get some good wins this year. So, with that said, Mike, hey, man, we got some picks to make. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty, y'all. With that said, here we go. It's time to make some picks. Right here. This is the Week 7 picks with Mr. Mike Pat and me, your boy, Larry B. Let's get it. Here we go, starting things off for this week. My gosh, it's starting it all off with our first primetime face-off of the evening, an AFC showdown. Chiefs at 4-2, Broncos at 2-4. Chiefs are favored by 3 points. I don't know, Chiefs, they didn't look so scary anymore, especially at Gillette. At Arrowhead Stadium, they lost 2 in a row. One to the Colts, and after that to the Texans. I mean, Texans are a tough team, but I don't know. Broncos looked pretty impressive last week. Mike, who you got?
Yeah, this is going to be a much better game than I think we would have anticipated a couple weeks ago. The Broncos have just been competitive all year. Their record just hasn't, they just have had some tough luck. I'm still going with the Chiefs here, but it's going to be close, and it would not surprise me if Denver pulled this one off.
Is Mike Pat going with the Broncos?
No, I said the Chiefs.
Oh my gosh, I was going to say. Okay, well, I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. I'm saying the Chiefs go on the road, find a way to win it, but I am totally with you on that, man. If the Broncos put in this thing, I am not so surprised. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one, 28-14 on the road.
Now, I will say, Larry, if I had kept up with the Pigs League, which unfortunately I've fallen behind, but if I had kept up with the Pigs League and I was behind and I needed to make some moves, I might go with the upset here, but none of that's the case, so.
We shall see. Next up here, well, look who's at the top, because of course my team is there, but because see my follow on the ESPN Score Center app. But my beloved Raiders at 3-2, taking on those Packers at 5-1. I'm still a little angry about last week and the ref's call. Regardless, we don't know if it would have happened. Regardless, if the Lions would have gotten the ball back. But I'll tell you what, the Packers are certainly playing at a high level right now. The Raiders, coming off of a bye week, they're rested up. They just, beat the Bears in an upset in England. I don't know. What you think in this one, Mike?
If this game was in Oakland, I'd probably be leaning with the Raiders, but it's in Green Bay. Green Bay's got a really strong home field advantage. I'm going to go with the Packers on this one.
It's a great pick. The Packers are definitely a tough team. You know me, I got to go with my team, but I just feel like right now the Packers are on one. I say the Raiders can pull this thing off with some good defense, but we need to play good defense. I'm going 31-28 Raiders. Next up, we have Rams at 3-3, Falcons at 1-5. Mike, did we ever find that search party?
We found the search party, and they had Atlanta's offense with them, but they still couldn't find Atlanta's defense.
Oh my gosh. Well, the Rams, though, do we got to send a search party out for them? Because the Niners made them look like they were a redhead stepchild.
Yeah, no, we might have to send out a lot of search parties this year.
I think so.
It's going to be a busy operation.
It really is. The Rams are favored by 3 points. Who are you taking?
I'm actually going to go with the Falcons on this one. Just the Rams are reeling. They don't have a healthy Todd Gurley. Their offensive line is in shambles. And they traded away Marcus Peters. Aqib Talib just landed on IR. And they might not have Jalen Ramsey even after that blockbuster trade. So I think that a lot's happening with the Rams right now, and I think this is Atlanta's perfect time to sneak in an upset.
That is a great upset, and my gosh, you know what? If I'm gonna go, and you know what? Just to go the opposite of you, Mike, just because I feel like this is the gasp of air. If they do not win this game, the Rams are gonna go backwards, and that's not good at all. So you know what?
It's gonna derail fast.
I think so. So you know what? McVay needs to keep this team together. In that case, I'm gonna say the Rams rally together and save any chance they have to get through this week and go beat a Falcons team who is hit or miss right now. I think it's going to be so close. The Falcons can honestly pull this thing off and get a nice win at home and kind of bring themselves more together. The Rams could totally fall apart, but I think that right now the Rams can totally go over there and continue to derail the Falcons. It's going to be a really interesting game. I'm going to say a close one, 20-14, weird game. Actually, 21-14. I'm going to say Rams find a way to win this thing on the road. Next up, Dolphins at 0-5, Bills at 4-1. Buffaloes are favored by Buffalo. The Bills are favored by 17 points. Mike, is there anything else to say?
Nope. Nothing else to say.
Do you even have a score in this one, Mike?
I don't think Buffalo's going to run it up on them, but I don't think I'm going to go 24-3.
That's a good score. I think the Dolphins are just poor Dolphins. I like that. I'm going to go 31-14. And the Dolphins are going to get something going on, but not a whole bunch. Next up, we have the Jaguars at 2-4, who, by the way, gave the Saints one heck of a battle the other day. My gosh, it was good. But is it going to be good enough to beat the 0-5 or 0-6 Bengals? I think so, Mike.
This is going to be an interesting one. I don't think Cincinnati's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're 0-16 bad. And when you look at their schedule, this is one of the more favorable games. I think they might eke out 3 or 4. This is a close one. If you could do like a draw, I would pick that. But I'll still go with Jacksonville. I think Minshew will bounce back, and Fournette's still there. He's still a beast. So
I like that. Well, I'm definitely going to go with Jacksonville as well. The Bengals certainly have every chance. I mean, you ended up virtually going with the Jags, right? You didn't sneak one on me and go Bengals?
Yeah, I went with the Jags. I already picked the Falcons. I'm not going too crazy this week.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll tell you, Mike. So I'm crazy, but not that crazy right now. So yeah, I personally think that the Jaguars have every chance to go over there and just get another big victory over a vulnerable team. I think it's Gardner Minshew's going to come out and play good football. I got the Jags win this one. I'm going to say 35-17. Next up, Vikings at 4-2, Lions at 2-1, and wouldn't you know it, the same way you said it last week, Mike, well, the Lions are virtually 500 right now.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're also angry, and I think they're going to come out in Detroit with the fire. They're going to get after Kirk Cousins, and Cousins is coming off a good game, so by default, he's probably going to have a bad one. Or at least an okay one. So, I'm going with the Lions on this one.
You know, I think so too. I think the Lions are very, very angry. They're not excited they're not happy about last week. The Vikings had a very good game last week. I think the Vikings are going to continue to do good this year. But once again, I hate to pick against the Vikings, especially when I'm starting to look more at them in a light instead of like in the dark, like, kind of bagging on them and picking on them. No longer salty about them destroying the Raiders in week 3, but I'll tell you right now, the Vikings have a very good team. I honestly think they're probably going to win this game, but I'm going to go with the Lions because, I don't honestly think the Vikings are going to win this game because I wouldn't be picking them. I'd be picking them if I did. I think the Lions have that little more umph than the Vikings do, and I'm going to go with a squeaker, man. I'm going to say 23-20. Lions find a way to win this thing at home. Texans at 4-2. Colts at 3-2. Oh my gosh, and it's even. The line is even, Mike.
Yeah, the line is even, but Houston's offense is on fire right now. Indy's secondary, I think, is still banged up, or at least they were banged up a couple weeks ago. I doubt they got that healthy that quick. And, with DeAndre Hopkins Hopkins and Will Fuller, Kenny Stills, Deshaun Watson throwing to all of them. This is going to be a very high-scoring game, but I think Houston pulls it out. I'm going to say like 38-28.
I think so too. They're on a high right now. They just beat the dang Chiefs. Well, actually, both these teams beat the Chiefs. So you know what? The Colts are, they're going to be playing good at home. But I really personally think that the Texans are going to go over there and do their thing. Deshaun Watson's playing good football. I'm going Texans to win this thing, 24-21. Cardinals 2-1. Giants 2-4. Oh, this is going to be a good game. The Giants are actually favored at home by 3 points. What do you think, Mike?
I think after probably about 3 weeks into the season, I think we would have looked at this game like, oh God, what a stinker. But both of these teams have actually started to come into their own. Kyler Murray's definitely getting some momentum. The Giants coming off a rough week, but they won 2 games in a row after starting out 0-3. I'm going to go with the Giants at home on this one. Not to say that that they're the better team, but I think you give them the home field advantage. Arizona has to go all the way across the country. That's a tough trek. And still a rookie quarterback, still a hostile environment, all those additional factors.
Absolutely. I'm going to say this is going to be a great game, but I'm going to go with, it's going to be a good one, but I'm going to say, give me the Giants at home. I like Chase. I like Chase Daniel, what he's doing right now. I'm gonna go with the Giants at home. I'm gonna say 31-24. So okay, we're coming up on a little bit under 5 minutes, so we gotta roll through these real quick. But San Francisco 49ers, the only undefeated team in the NFC right now. First time since 1990, I think I heard, or somewhere in the early 90s, taking on those Redskins, who were actually really good also in those early 90s. Well, the Redskins are 1-5. Niners are favored by 9.5 points.
Well, the Redskins kept one team winless last week, and I think they're going to keep another team undefeated this week. I'm going to go with the Niners here.
As much as I know. I don't know if you wanted to pick his team there, but it is what it is, man. I'm going Niners as well. I'm going to say 24-14. Going to be a good game, but should be a good game. So, all right, next up, we got the Chargers, who we don't know what happened to them last week. The Steelers just beat on them, and the Titans, they got beat on too pretty bad last week by the who beat them down last week? I forgot. 16-0. The Broncos beat them down. So anyway, 2 teams who are looking to get some kind of victory. Tennessee's actually favored by 2 points. What do you think, Mike?
Oh man, both these teams are reeling after last week. The Chargers are really reeling on the whole for the season. I'm going to go with the Titans. They kind of have the Vikings. Every other game is a good game look to them. Although interesting, they are going with Tannehill over Mariota this week. I just saw that in the news, so that's going to be an interesting little wrinkle. But yeah, the Chargers, so many injuries on that defense. It doesn't even look like the same team out there.
It doesn't, and that sucks to hear. That sucks all over. But I'm going to say Titans. Good.
And they're down both. They're down 2 starting offensive linemen, 2 good ones too.
That's even tougher. Well, I'm definitely got to go with the Titans in that case then. I'm going to say Titans win this one 28-17, but man, the Titans, it sucks for the Chargers. Next up, we got the Saints at 5-1. Bridgewater leading the charge. I don't know when Brady's coming back, but he's holding down. And the Bears at 3-2. Well, they've had a tough one after that Raider loss. A bye week last week as well, but should be a good one. Actually, who is favored? The Bears by 3 points. Who do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears. New Orleans has been playing great, but at some point playing with your backup quarterback, even though Teddy Bridgewater's not your ordinary backup, playing with your backup quarterback is going to catch up to you at some point. And, in Chicago with that Bears defense, seems like a likely time for that to happen.
Absolutely. I'm going to say Bears win this thing. Saints are going to have a good one, I think. A good fight in this one. But I'm actually going to go Bears. The Monsters of the Midway winning this one 33-30. What you think, Mike?
That sounds like a reasonable score. I'm going to go a little bit lower because Saints defense is actually playing really well right now. I'll say 24-20.
Alrighty. Then we got the Ravens at 4-2. Seahawks at 5-1. Seahawks are favored by 3.5 points. What you think, Mike?
Well, this is going to be an interesting game for the Seahawks because their one loss this year was actually at home to the Saints, I believe. It was at home to the Saints, which normally they don't lose at home. Baltimore's coming off a good game. They've got a good defense, and Lamar Jackson's running all over the field. Plus, Seattle does have a few key injuries, particularly on defense. So I'm actually going to go with Baltimore for the upset on this one.
That's a good pick. I'm going to say Seattle at home, but this could be a very good upset. I'm going to say final score 17-10 in a defensive freaking battle.
It's definitely going to be defensive.
I like that. It's going to be good. So, all right, and then we only got like another minute here, so short and sweet. We got Eagles at 3-3, Cowboys at 3-3, coming off of tough losses. Dallas is favored by 3 points. So you got, Mike?
Go with Dallas. If it was in Philly, I'd pick Philly. Whoever's at home has the advantage here.
I totally agree with you on that one, man. I think I'm going to go Cowboys, but a slight margin. I'm going to say like 27-24. And then Monday Night Football, Patriots 6-0, Jets at 1-4. Patriots are favored by 10 points.
Yep, that sounds about right to me. I'll go with the Patriots.
I am totally with you on that, man. I want to see it a good game, but I'm going to say final score 31. No, you know what? I'm going to go a little more low scoring. I think the Jets are going to come to play, man. 21-14 yet again. I'm going to go with that score. So, all right, y'all. With that said, that will do it. Let's go ahead and stop our picks music and get going with our actual theme music to end out the show. But before we do that, Mr. Mike, where can these diehard fans find you on Twitter and anything else you'd like to share?
You can find me on Twitter at MikePat91, and also check out the iSports Radio blog, iSportsRadioblog.wordpress.com. New writings coming up as often as we can put them.
There you go, y'all. Just check out the website, get those going on there. And, well, with that said, cue the music, because we're out of here! Alright, y'all, it's been a fun show. I'm loving it. Give Mike Pat a follow. Of course, big ups and thank you to Mr. Mike Pat as well as all of our guests for tonight. Thank you all so very much. Couldn't do it without y'all as always. I always say, glory to God. Without him, nothing is possible. Big ups to the man above. And of course, give me a follow at THE_LB53 on Twitter. Give us all a follow at IE Sports Radio on Twitter. On Instagram, on YouTube as well. And, of course, check us out on iSportsRadio.com. With that said, y'all, that will do it for this week. We'll see y'all next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.